Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Shout out to Adam Shine on Sports. It was a great couple hours before we got on here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Last night, there was an epic AFC East battle. The New England Patriots traveled to New Jersey to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets are being talked about as potentially being the worst football team to ever assemble in the NFL. They are continuing their losing streak, which might go all the way till the end of the season. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to the Detroit Lions. But early in the game last night, Joe Flacco and the Jets looked like they were going to beat the New England Patriots. It looked like that offense that Adam Gase has been masterminding was coming together in beautiful fashion. Joe Flacco was hitting deep shots. He was getting deep pass interferences. Frank Gore was getting the rock, and they were up 10 against the New England Patriots. Then Cam Newton, who threw almost a damn near perfect first half without gaining any yards, came back in the second half and secured a W for the New England Patriots, who have the mindset that it's a new season every single week because the beginning of the season was so damn bad.
Hell yeah.
Nick Folk hits a 51-yarder to win that game and also force an over, which kind of sucked for everybody that hammered the under. But everybody that hammered the New York Jets plus 9.5 knew that game was a lock from damn near the beginning of that game. Shout out to Monday Night Football for putting on a game that I guess was awesome. It was a little bit tough to stay awake through. Had to maybe watch it back this morning and kind of catch all the highlights and what happened. If you fell asleep, no problems there at all. The New England Patriots, are they all the way back or not? That'll be the topic of at Viva Lazito's poll. We'll talk to him about that. At Tone Diggs also here. Pittsburgh Steelers Ben Roethlisberger now out because he was a high-risk contact trace COVID guy next to Vance McDonald, who we are learning his locker is next to. He's sat next to on the plane. And Vance McDonald, who had the sniffles, played the game on Sunday with COVID. So now Ben Roethlisberger's got 2 bad knees, and he's in the high-risk testing thingy for COVID. Is this when Ben Roethlisberger becomes his absolute best football player at Tone Diggs? I do believe we're going to see the best Ben Roethlisberger we've ever seen on Sunday because although he is at home, he has to pass 5 tests, which would get him back in play for Sunday's game against the Bengals. 2 bad knees, now a COVID protocol. Ben Roethlisberger's about to heat the fuck up, Diggs. Ain't that right?
Yeah, it's chess, not checkers. The Steelers protecting Ben from himself because he was going to go out there and practice on 2 torn ACLs this week to prepare for the Bengals this weekend.
2 torn ACLs.
Well, it's probably what it is. I assume so. I assume that's what
like
Ben's.
how?
I mean, I saw 2 injured knees. I assume with Ben, that's 2 torn ACLs that he's going to play through. But let's keep him out of practice this week. Let's protect him from himself. Chestnut checkers, like I said, and he'll be back for Sunday, rested and ready to go.
It's very interesting, though, that starting quarterback in the NFL is out for 5 days a week of practice leading into a divisional game against a Cincinnati Bengals team that has played everybody damn near tough. I mean, they got blown out, I think, once, but they've been playing everybody very, very tough. Beat the Titans, obviously, so maybe they figured it out. This is a massive game for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North, especially with Baltimore Ravens potentially getting hot again after blowing the fucking back out of the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday and Lamar Jackson seeming to be all the way back. This is a big game. 2020 season, though, you guys were forced into an early bye week without even knowing it was a bye week. You're the only undefeated team left. You almost lost to Gary Gilbert, but you still got to win. Now your starting quarterback isn't able to practice. Is the NFL in COVID in 2020 out to get the Pittsburgh Steelers, and will the Pittsburgh Steelers prevail?
It 1,000% is out to get the Pittsburgh Steelers, but as Mike Tomlin would say, we do not care. I mean, we're just going to forge through these fires, obviously. That's who we are. I mean, the situations are the situations, and we're going to next man up and handle everything as we can.
And you guys don't live in your fears, obviously.
No, we do not.
You live in reality, so it's the way it goes. Pittsburgh Steelers, still in everybody's eyes, one of the top teams in the NFL, obviously, because they're undefeated. But the almost loss to Gary Gilbert has caused quite a ripple effect in the way people talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we have to remember Pittsburgh Steelers thought they were playing against a JV team.
Yeah.
Still got to win. Still a win on the road in the NFL. It doesn't matter who's playing is good news. Maybe they got a wake-up call. Now Ben Roethlisberger's going home for a week, which we all know. Zoom calls, got meetings. We know he's going to be practicing his Christianity, right? He's going to be doing a lot of Zoom calls with church. He's not going to be doing anything else. Let's hope he stays out of the laptop while he's at home here and not at work.
Yeah, I am slightly worried about the temptation of being home for 24 hours a day with that laptop just screaming his name from the other room. But
no, I think he'll be on his laptop, right?
Yeah,
Zoom calls.
has to be.
He's one click
he
away.
is
the browser.
He is one browser. He is one John King slide at the top of the map thing away from potentially diving back into some old habits. And now is not the time for old Big Ben with that new elbow that has been creeping up on him a little bit to potentially dive back into bad habits. I don't think he will. He seems like he's at a mentally strong part of his entire life right now. But this is interesting. He's not able to practice. They did say, though, he's able to go in and get treatment on his two knees.
Yeah.
Not just one knee, by the way. We thought it was potential. Both knees got injured on one play. For Ben Roethlisberger, comes back, still leads them to victory. He is able to go in there and get treatment, but it's at a time where there's nobody else around, and I would assume that people that are doing the treatment have to do certain things. I mean, if you're Ben Roethlisberger, though, you're starting quarterback in the NFL, you can get a motherfucker to go to your house. I would assume that's going to happen so that nobody else gets this thing. But everybody has said that Ben has been the most diligent about the COVID thing. That is why, even though his locker mate and his plane partner have COVID, he does not shout to Ben Roethlisberger taking this thing serious.
yeah, he gets it that it takes all of us. And if I know Ben and if I know porn addiction, he has a separate computer for film and for his late night thoughts. So as long as he keeps that computer in the closet, I mean, everything's all right.
He's going to beat COVID like he beats his dick, and then they're going to beat the Thunders on Sunday. Here we go. Now
If not, we do have a pretty cool excuse if we lose Sunday. So
here we go, 9-0. Is that the chant right now? Here we go, 9-0.
That's it, baby. It used to be one for a thumb. We got that one now. So here we go, 9-0.
I'll tell you what. If the Steelers go 9-0, they should be very proud. But, boy, this is a long season with that Week 4 bye week that they were forced into because the Tennessee Titans, who got punished less than the Raiders have gotten punished, by the way. And they had 22 people get it. The Raiders, they don't take mass seriously over there, $1.5 million. I think the Tennessee Titans have like $350,000 in fines. The Titans forced the Steelers into an early bye week. Will that bite them in the ass later? Did they take a week off against the Cowboys and still get a win? Maybe they're playing real-life chess instead of checkers. We'll take a bye week while playing a game, and we'll get Ben Roethlisberger out of the game. We'll have him have two knees or something like that, and then he's back in it. I'll be intrigued to see how this all plays out. The Steelers, will they go perfect this season? Maybe. It's only happened one other time in 101 years of existence in the NFL. It's going to be very difficult. When they lose, though, I'm pumped to hear the pundits all bury how bad the Steelers are. Because the Steelers right now, the only undefeated team, are Stephen A. has them at number 5, by the way. Has them below the Bills by like 3 and everything like that. Intrigued to see how this whole thing plays out. T's and P's for Ben to survive COVID if he has it, which they're saying he doesn't. And Vance McDonald, we hope you survive COVID.
Right.
Because remember, the threat of death is why the world shut down because of COVID. And the first thought is immediately, will they be able to play this weekend? Let's just hope that they can survive COVID. Because it seems like that is why all these shutdowns happen. But if you do survive, now there's a whole other gamut of things that COVID potentially does. Lowers your sperm count.
No. That's bad for him.
I guess it lowers your sperm count. It makes you depressed. You get anxiety.
Mental
All
health.
these things that are rolling out right now that are the threats of COVID. Very interesting. I hope Vance McDonald can survive all of those things. At Boston Connor, Patriots, all the way back, huh? All the way back. Big win. Cam Newton throws 0 touchdowns, runs for 2. You guys beat the worst team potentially in the history of the NFL, and you woke up this morning saying, hey, Patriots are back, baby.
A couple weeks ago, Super Bowl champion D tackle for the Chiefs, Chris Jones, said, you know what? This New York Jets team, they're a real good team just because they don't have any wins. Last week, Bill Belichick says, this Jets team's good. They're better than they were last year. That was a solid win. I mean, there were 2 all-time greats in the New York Jets backfield last night. Frank Gore, Joe Flacco, footsteps. And he was surgical, as we thought he was. And somehow, the Patriots, with a JV team, they went out and they got the job done.
That was not his nickname, never has been, never will be. You're forcing it in there now at this point. It has not picked up at all since you started calling him that. Maybe it's time to give it up. Speaking of giving it up,
see him move?
It doesn't feel like the Patriots are giving up at all. Like the Patriots are going to go to win every single game. And if you're a Patriots fan, are you happy or mad about that? It's like last night, Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Brian Griese started talking about, I think Steve Levy approached the idea that maybe the Jets front office would be happy if they were to lose every game because Trevor Lawrence is in on deck. And Louis Riddick, rightfully so, because Louis Riddick is a former player and had to fight for literally every single play that he had. He was like, ain't nobody trying to lose or whatever. And Steve Levy was like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but maybe it's good for the fans to lose or whatever. And Louis Riddick, he was like, oh, no, they're trying to win every single game. It's like, okay, I understand that. But it is interesting to think as a Jets fan last night, because as you're winning that game and Joe Flacco's passing Joe Montana in the record books and Frank Gore's doing these awesome things, and you guys are beating the Patriots, which is, I assume isn't something normal. And in the back of your mind, you have to think, like, if Bill Belichick fucks us out of getting Trevor Lawrence, it's time to kill him. And then, lo and behold, played a great game. They lose in the end. I think everybody was happy with what happened last night between the Patriots fans and the Jets fans last night.
Incredibly happy. I mean, we do have the Ravens next week, and there's a little worry that they might rush for 800 yards against us. But until then, we're fine. We just need to get our guys back.
Gumpy, what's that spread right now? I think the Ravens are only favored by 7 right now.
It's 7. It was 6.5 this morning.
And that's probably going to get up to 9 or 10,
I'm
I'd
guessing
assume.
at least 9,
Maybe
Pat.
14.
So it's Tuesday. If you want to hop on an early line, potential Ravens in New England. Now, Bill lost to Lamar last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then Cam Newton did damage against Bill a couple years ago. That's why he signed Cam Newton, like Cam Newton, right? So the quarterback who is mobile and can make plays has been a little bit of an Achilles heel for Bill Belichick. Is this something he's gotten over now that he has Cam in the building, or maybe watch more film on Lamar? I'll be intrigued to see how Bill plays it. 7's a lot against the Patriots. If that goes up to 8 or 9, that'll be a lot against the Patriots because it feels like the Patriots will be able to keep it close against whoever. Doesn't matter if it's the Jets. Doesn't matter if it's the Super Bowl champs. But also it could go the complete opposite direction. They could just blow the Patriots out of the fucking building.
Ravens are 4-1-1 their last 6 against the spread in New England as well.
Okay, here we go.
Hopefully we get Stephon Gilmore back, and then we can just put 9 guys in the box and make Lamar throw on us.
And then you'll get pass interference calls, and they'll just walk right down like Joe Flacco did last night.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you let footsteps get loose. You don't let him have the ball left 2 minutes left.
That name is terrible.
Do you see him move in the pocket, though? His footsteps are hot. Ha-ta-ta-ta, ha-ta-ta-ta. You have to see that.
What I saw was you act like an absolute buffoon yesterday on Hammered Down and be wrong.
No, I said we wouldn't lose 5 in a row. Maybe, perhaps. I did throw in there that Patriots minus 9.5 might have been a good bet.
No, you did not say that. The whole reason why you freaked out is because I was betting against Bill Belichick.
Yeah, on the Jets, I know. I was very upset, still am, but what are you going to do?
I won.
It was a good bet.
So what we're saying is your entire freak out that happened on Hammered Down yesterday, coming at me and attacking me for betting against Bill Belichick and yelling. You literally yelled for like 67 seconds or something like that at me for betting was wrong and misguided and completely incorrect.
Well, love is blind, and I love the Patriots more than I love anything else in this entire world.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate yesterday, and I think it was misfound. I think it was very stupid.
Hate and love are basically the same thing, Pat.
That's what they say. At Ty Schmidt, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. He had an off weekend, right? Didn't do anything, but they got better. What did he do? You think he watched the other teams? You think he watched Russell Wilson throw 2 picks and have a couple more fumbles and go to 7 turnovers in the last 3 weeks and go, that's a real shame? Do you think he watched the Buccaneers against the Saints and go, damn, okay, so the Saints seem to be for real and the Bucs seem not? What do you think he did for them? I'm intrigued to hear if he watched those games because remember on his bye week, he actually told us he went camping on his property, which was not true. But he said he didn't watch anything. I wonder if he did that this weekend as well. And if it's been working, keep doing it, pal.
I hope he did because I hope somewhere in the back of his head, I know he doesn't care about winning another MVP. He's got a couple of them already. But if he sees what happened on Sunday, maybe somewhere back there he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to throw for 7 touchdowns on Sunday. Call a couple audibles, and
who are they playing this week?
Jacksonville.
Is it Jack Lutton?
It is Jack the Snake Lutton.
Beware.
Which I'm a little worried about.
Hey, Jack Lutton can move. Jack Lutton's a little bit of a player.
He's got a live arm too.
He does, and he's one of those guys you don't take serious, and then he pops in there and just pops off on you a little bit.
I'm a little bit worried, yes, because they got a good running back as well. But
is it in Jacksonville or is it in Green Bay?
I believe it's in Green Bay.
Oh, okay, that's bigger. That's a much bigger deal.
Still no fans though.
Yeah, but the weather.
True.
Now, granted,
it's hot in the Midwest right now.
Hey, it is 70. Listen, okay, if we can save the planet, let's go ahead and do that. However, whoever says, depending upon who you listen to, how we do it is. I watched this documentary on carbon, by the way. It's pretty awesome to watch this carbon documentary. Turns out like a lot of things that are happening that people think are saving is actually hurting because if you go on the carbon theory, which we all are made of, by the way, carbon, if you go by that theory, there's a chance that there's some, whatever's doing to the world, maybe, by the way, maybe and this is a theory you've heard, like there's nothing we can do about it. This is just going to happen to the Earth. But then obviously there's a thought that humans are completely fucking up the Earth, which, by the way, all have valid arguments behind them. Okay, so we're not here to tell you which one's right. I'm just telling you, with the world fucking up, whoever's doing it. If Indiana has become Southern California, I'm here for it. I am. Now listen, it's not good, obviously. There's a lot of other things happening. There's a lot of backlash. But if one of the positives and everything else bad leaves is for Indiana to become Southern California like it has been for the last 7 days, it's been 71 degrees with no humidity, clear skies in the middle of November. Like, hey, I think we should revisit the discussion on how we keep that and get rid of all the other stuff.
Don't get me wrong. I do not hate it. It is, it's lovely. But wasn't it kind of weird last night? Like, I was looking outside and it was kind of overcast, and I was like, oh boy, I bet it's like 35 degrees out there. I walk outside and it was about 68. I had to pop the sweatshirt off. I was like, I wasn't ready for it.
The only issue I'm having is all the leaves didn't get the memo.
Yeah, true.
So the leaves all got the memo that it was still going to be fall as is.
Time to fall
like,
off.
we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're all down. You go outside, it's midsummer night or whatever. Very interesting. Now, I would like to, if we're going to continue that conversation, I would like for us to also request, we would like snow during Christmas.
Gotta have it around
Please.
Christmas.
Have to have it.
23rd to the 26th.
Like a week or so.
Yep.
So let's get rid of all the bad stuff, the fires, the hurricanes, the floods. Let's get rid of that, okay? We don't want that at all. We would like Southern California climate, though, in Indiana for everything but December 20th to like January 10th or something.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sure.
okay.
Okay, so we can have all that. That'd be very nice. And I think, by the way, that's not too much to ask, is it?
I don't think so.
Not at all. Take note, Mother Nature.
I wonder what Green Bay is going to be like this weekend. I just heard 50 degrees and rain or something
Yeah.
like that. That means nothing to
Doesn't mean
Aaron
anything.
Rodgers.
Yeah, Raji's got huge hands.
Hurt Lutton, though.
He did talk about how California, when they played Santa Clara 49ers over there, that it was a perfect night for football. And the week before it was very windy or whatever. And he said that's just Lambeau. That's how it's going to be. Never gets talked about from Mason Crosby, by the way, that being his home. Everybody talks about Pittsburgh Steelers. Heinz Field, obviously difficult to kick in. Everybody talks about Cleveland, obviously difficult to kick in. Lambeau, I believe, is notoriously a breezy place out there in the middle of Wisconsin. Mason's been there for a long time. And Aaron's been able to put up all these records. The amount of stats that Aaron Rodgers has garnered at this particular point of his career versus everybody else. Like, for instance, Aaron Rodgers is 12 touchdowns away from becoming the 7th quarterback in the history of the NFL to record 400 touchdown passes. 400. Here's how many interceptions the other 6 had when they threw 400. Tom Brady has thrown 400 touchdowns. He had 143 interceptions whenever he got to that mark. Drew Brees, 196 interceptions when he got to that. Peyton, 198. Phillip Rivers, 202. Would have guessed that. Dan Marino, 231. Brett Favre, 258. Aaron Rodgers has 86 interceptions, and he's about to throw his 400th touchdown. I mean, it's just next level fucking football that people need to start like putting a little bit more respect on the entire thing.
That was one of the most staggering things I've ever seen. Because as a Packers fan, especially, like, that argument comes up all the time: who's better, him or Favre? I mean, he's thrown 200 less interceptions than Favre has. And I love Favre. He is a gunslinger, but it's like, it's unreal. I mean, that's an unreal stat.
And Aaron and Brett are tight too. So let's not try to drive a wedge between them. But I do believe it's time for that, the team that doesn't have an owner, maybe they don't have as much say with the media. Maybe they can't do as many things because they don't have an owner. Andrew Brandt, who was a former front office member of the Green Bay Packers, alluded to that, how the rest of the NFL kind of views the Green Bay Packers like a little brother almost. Like, they have a seat at the table, but it's just a much smaller seat than everybody else. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more respect on old A-Rod. And by the way, a lot of people put out, like Bleacher Report will put out tweets or quotes from the show, which we appreciate, by the way. Shout out Bleacher Report. They give us credit in this tiny little credit up in the upper left corner.
Yeah, minuscule.
Really appreciate you guys doing that. I mean, you guys got a lot of people creating content over there that's worth fucking sharing, so we appreciate you just putting our tiny little name over there. We appreciate them sharing.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate you giving us credit on it, all that shit. I don't want to undersell that because they have a massive platform. But you'll see in the responses, people are like, oh, arrogant douchebag. And then people right underneath are like, have you ever listened to him on the show?
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to him on the show? Like, maybe he's just a dry sense of humor, sarcastic human who his quotes could have got misquoted or taken out of context on a very regular basis throughout his entire career. And his literal motto is kill him with indifference so he doesn't respond to it. I'm happy we're just now starting to understand Aaron Rodgers as a human. And I think everybody's starting to really appreciate what he's done. That is an insane stat. Yeah. It's like last year, what it was like 24-2?
26-4, yeah.
Yeah, 26-4, something like that. And people were like, bad year for Aaron Rodgers last year.
He's washed.
Jameis Winston, no. He threw 26 more interceptions than him. Okay, that's almost 2 a game more. Okay, throughout an entire season.
More pick sixes.
And no offense to Jameis. Jameis had a hell of a season. They had a lot of yards and everything like that. But put that in compare, like that is just, it's insane what he does. He's so smart. He's diligent. He's athletic. There's some running stats behind him. And we get a chance to chat with him here in about 2 hours.
Should make him the owner of the Packers. That's what they should do.
And by the way, I think he has like some investment stuff that goes on. He probably could at this point if
I would guess so.
We all saw that house he bought in Malibu. By the way, first time in a couple of days I've been able to hit the woo. Oh, I missed it. I got too greedy. Tried to do it twice. At Viva Lazito, what is your poll for today? You look incredible in that Arby's meat suit.
Come on.
Oh, my God. You look good. By the way, hashtag Arby's is great. You have 2 more days to get entered into the giveaway for that Arby's meat sweatsuit that Zito is wearing on the couch right now. It's that exact one. We'll all sign it. Yep. You could potentially win it whenever you eat at Arby's. By the way, deep fried turkey club sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
A couple of the boys had it this morning. Yeah. It is right in time here for turkey season, basically. Perfect. They got this deep fried. They have wraps. They have salads. They have obviously all the meats. They have all the meats.
Gyros.
They have gyros.
Milkshakes.
Gyro.
Who knows?
Common person, super smart person. That's kind of how you separate those two. Yeah, it happens with that. The amount of things, the mott sticks. I mean, people, buffalo chicken stuff they got going on. They got curly fries, the cheese sauce. I mean, you name it. The wide array of things that are available at Arby's that all taste delicious. It is time to be proud that you're eating them. Whenever you eat Arby's here in the next 2 days, which we would recommend you doing so, use the hashtag Arby's is great, and you automatically be entered in to win this exact meat sweatsuit that our guy Zito is wearing right now. Eating W's. Attaboy, Z.
Yep.
Shout out to Arby's, by the way. I cannot believe that we have a partnership with Arby's, by the way.
Awesome. Insane.
It's very dumb.
It's unbelievable how consistent they are, too, really.
We talked about that. Because they're available now on DoorDash and I think everywhere else. And you can use hashtag, or you can use Pat the number 4 and then free to get free delivery if you eat at Arby's, because they are available to show up at your house if they're around you. The consistency is next level, and only people that eat at Arby's know that.
Yeah.
Everybody that eats at other places, you don't know what you're going to get, by the way, when it shows up. Arby's is consistently great, and that's why I appreciate the hell out of them.
I mean, this morning, we had maybe a $250 order. Everything so accounted for. I mean, that never happens.
Ever.
That's Arby's, baby.
We actually had to turn our back on an entire franchise that we went to bat for because of the lack of consistency.
We did.
They were treating us like we were some stooges. It's like, have a little bit of respect for our money. And although Arby's is fast food, it is not taste like it.
No, it
that
doesn't.
Smokehouse fucking brisket I had this morning.
Again, I thought you went down to a local steakhouse.
That should not be available to be delivered to your house.
No.
It's so good. What's your poll for today, Zito?
Yes, sir. After last night's win, are the Patriots back? Yep. 7%? Nope. 93%. That's over 13,000 people. Awesome. So if I'm doing the math real quick, 11,000 people said nope.
Hey, good math.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hey.
It's the suit.
Euro, math, meat sweatsuit.
Oh, yeah. Put it all together.
Maybe this is Jose Zito Perez Tuesday.
Ooh. I can't take it from Aaron.
True. Hey, noble.
But in 2 weeks, I'm taking it.
JZPZ.
Hashtag Arby's is great. If you eat it in the next 2 days, you have until November 13th. So you have midnight of, you get it.
I've entered 5 times.
What's that?
I've entered 5 times.
What you enter with is today?
With my beautiful mott stick and Euro. Oh, it was so good.
The mott sticks are
They're so good. It's like an Italian restaurant.
Hey, they only paid for like a 30-second read or whatever, but it's hard not to.
Hey, when you love it this much, I mean, you can talk about Arby's all day.
They sent us a memo to talk about or whatever before they heard what we originally talked about. Like, hey, here's some things to talk about, and then they sent a memo back that was just like, fucking do whatever you want to do.
You gotta do.
The fact that people said that eating Arby's wasn't cool was a fucking problem for me. That was a real problem for me.
Coastal bias.
And I know exactly the humans that said it wasn't cool to eat Arby's. It's like, those people suck and should not. Those people don't talk about what's cool or not cool because y'all motherfuckers are losers anyways.
That's right.
So, that guy.
Yeah.
I love Arby's now. I didn't know. I was lied to my entire life until I got out here.
That's the thing about it, though, is I think people don't hear about it. Then they hear one person who thinks, and they say something, and they're like, oh, that's what No. I want to let you know. I think there was a lot of quiet Arby's fans strictly because Arby's fans don't feel the need to blast it from the rooftops how good it is.
Just trying to eat good.
It's a hard-working.
It's a Rust Belt kind of restaurant.
It really is. It's fucking great. All right, let's get to a break. We got Rob Ninkovich joining us on the other side. Two-time Super Bowl champ. We'll talk to him about it, whether or not the Patriots are all the way back. Then we also have Tom Allen, head coach of the Indiana University Hoosier football team. They are currently undefeated. Can't wait to chat with him in the second hour, 1:05 Eastern Standard Time. And then obviously 2:05 Eastern Standard Time, hour 3 here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. We have Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go.
Your phone calls in between 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We can't wait to chat with you. Rob Ninkovich joins us on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, November 10th. I don't even know what that means.
Great
West Ham. The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Nice,
Hammers.
Connor here.
Connor, what do you
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
You know, I sometimes laugh when people talk about, you know, down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
That was awesome.
Hey, it's just the facts, bro.
You and me, I think, are the only people that can do it, dude.
That's old hat, Pat. I've been doing that for years. I've learned that in high school.
Hey, can you explain when you actually say the words hard count in your hard count and it works?
Was that trolling? That was definitely trolling.
I saw that. No, why would I say hard count? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I did not say hard count.
I want to know what's this bye week like for you, man? Like,
so COVID test every day, and at some point you got to let adults be adults and make decisions, understand the consequences. We can't hold everybody by the hand.
Yeah, a bubble would be awesome, Aaron. Put you guys all in one big hotel, huh?
Yeah, I won't be a big fan of that. All
I guess not.
The fucking media does is write stories to get clicks. So it doesn't matter. Like, I can give a long answer about something, and they can take a blip of it and write a story about it that has nothing to do with what I was saying.
so how do you know what to believe then, A-Rod?
I think you just have to be skeptical in general. I think that's having an open mind, is being skeptical and not just believing everything at face value, and do your own research and not just listen to something because somebody told you, some blue check mark on Twitter told you to believe something. You should have an open mind and feel into what you think is the truth.
Hey, you were preaching right there, sir. You were preaching right there.
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Don't leave us lonely, dude. Late night special band, Don't Leave Me Lonely here. Joining us now is a man who doesn't want to leave us lonely. We were supposed to talk to him 7 minutes ago, a little bit late because we went on a rant about Indiana having 75-degree weather right now. It's fucking nice, I'm going to be honest. I know there's probably some repercussions on the other side, but I want to let you know right now, we are borrowing happiness from some place, or sometime. And I just want to let you know, we are enjoying it. So whenever it gets to the other side of this and we're just getting dumped on by whatever, just remember that we did enjoy this particular time here.
Not in our lifetime, so fuck it.
Oh, Jesus. Diggs, you just started a conversation. Tone, by the way. That is not
your stance.
That is not your stance.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
you know.
That is not your stance. That is not it, Tone. Wow, you got a lot to learn about yourself. Come on.
I'm an amoeba, my friend.
Yeah. Joining us now is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. I believe he went to Purdue. I think last time he was on the show, he told us he had 45 concussions. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Nakovich. So cool right now. You look so cool. You got a flat bill on. You got your gator, American flag gator, I believe that you're going to pull up there. You look awesome right now. Where are you?
This is a Reds rubbish removal hat, best hat ever. Just some guy gave it to me. I just loved it because it's Reds rubbish removal. I mean, why wouldn't you love a Reds rubbish hat? Like, come on, it's the best hat ever.
I agree.
I am right now. I have the Dan and Ninko show. It's kind of a local thing. We go around. It's a podcast. We have fun. Today, we're actually racing.
Let's go!
We're racing karts. So guess what? If you ain't first, you're last. I got the number 50 kart. I'm ready to go. There's going to be rubbing because if you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. You know what I'm saying, Pat?
Rubbing is racing, Ninko. Absolutely. I do know what you're saying here in Indianapolis, the race capital of the country. A lot of people say, are those gas powered or electric?
So these are e-powered. So,
Get yourself on an electric one.
Hey, listen up, okay? We're trying not to have 80-degree Decembers, okay?
I can respect that. All right. And I bet you, I've been on a couple e-karts that can go a little bit. Them gas-powered ones, though, out here in Indianapolis, because there's a lot of racers that come up through there. And go-karts, by the way, are like it's like Pee-wee football. That's like for how that's how they get in. There's some go-karts here that you want to go race at here in Indianapolis. I forget the name of the place. Fast Times, maybe. They go like 30, 35 miles an hour, and it's a full track. And like we can just go in there and get it. It's awesome. They go crazy.
We're doing 50 right now. We're at the pro level. We're doing 50 miles an hour. We got a half-mile track indoor. It's a pretty big deal right now. I'm pretty excited.
You got a helmet on? You got a helmet on, and you got to check that side because whenever you turn on that thing, it's going to dig into your side pretty hard there.
You guys want to see the helmet Ninko's got to rock?
Oh, yeah. Throw it on, baby. By the way, I hope it's CTE proof. Oh! What?
Get it right.
Is that an XL? You got a big head? Big head, small head guy?
No, I'm a big head guy. You know me. Come on. Anyway, so you got to rock the Patriot helmet. I know they struggle a little bit, but it's all right. They almost, lost to a winless team. It's all good.
Let's talk about that last night. Whenever we talked to you a few weeks ago, you said it doesn't matter what they do. If they can't stop the run, they're going to be in trouble. Now, that has kind of been a recurring theme here, and Frank Gore had a night last night. Frank Gore is Frank Gore, but Boston Connor here, he said last night going into the game, we're resetting the season. We're 0-0. So he views them as 1-0. We're about to go on a run because Bill Belichick, super genius, and everything like that. After last night's game, what did you learn about the Patriots that you may not have known beforehand, and do you change your thoughts or stance at all on them?
It really didn't teach me anything last night. I was watching that game and I was surprised a little bit. Just the amount of success the Jets were having in the air. The strength of the Pats basically is their secondary. So for them to go out there and basically score at will with Flacco, I mean, the guy, it looks like he has a lobotomy when they show him on the sidelines. He has no emotions. He has no emotions. They show him on the sideline after a pick. He's just like this.
There's no way that's the right word.
Yeah.
Lobotomy?
Oh, yeah. Get him.
Wiped his brain.
Emotionless, yeah.
They pulled a piece of brain
lobotomy.
out.
Come on, Pat. You know what a lobotomy is? They take the frontal lobe, they scramble it so you don't have emotions. You know what I'm saying?
I did not know that. I thought a lobotomy was like something inside of your stomach.
No. Back in the early days of people having mental health disorders, they'd go through your eye and they'd scramble the frontal lobe. It was
They would have done that to me for sure if I was around back then. I'm happy they didn't. But Joe Flacco, he's calm and cool. He didn't have any emotions because it was just another day at the office for him.
Calm and cool. You know, you throw a touchdown, you're up big on the Pats, and then you get a call from the guys up top, and they say, hey, guess what? We want the number 1 overall, so make sure you throw a deep pick. And then we go out there, we go 3 and out, and we lose, so we don't go into overtime.
So you're saying 100% that the Jets, getting a win over the Jets changes nothing for the Patriots. And how do you think Bill Belichick viewed that game last night afterwards to the team and going into this next week?
I think that he's happy that they're not on a 5-game skid. You know, you get over the hump and you win a game. It's got to be a little bit of a boost for the whole team, the morale, because you lose this game. I mean, that would be a really big sock in the stomach. So, you know, I think looking forward, they're playing the Ravens, and I said that they have to stop the run to do anything this year, and last night didn't help me at all think that they can stop the run. So you're going to go play the Ravens, who can run the ball really well. It's going to be a tough matchup. Look, the Ravens are a tough team. I know everyone's saying that they're not where they were at last year, but they're still a good team. I don't care what you say.
How do you feel about Big Ben Roethlisberger hurting both of his knees on one play and then still coming back and making a play to win the game? And now he's contact tracing. He's going to be out all week, but he'll play on Sunday against the Bengals.
The dude's tough. I mean, come on. You know, Big Ben's tough. He's a big guy. You know, he always seems to – remember that year he had, like, the size 16 shoe on?
Oh, yeah.
Like, one shoe was a 16, the other shoe was, like, a 13.
Yeah.
And he was looking like Bozo the Clown out there with the big shoe on.
Oh, I'll take it easy.
I think you got to respect him for the things that he's able to fight through. He comes back after having, you know, going into the locker room. They evaluate him. They probably give him a little something. And then he comes back out and he helps the team win. So – you respect a guy that's able to fight through pain like that. You always do.
Whenever you're playing against a guy like that, is there any thoughts? Like, for instance, when you're playing Ben Roethlisberger, which I assume you did on plenty of occasions in the AFC there, and that year where he had the AT boot, the all-terrain walking boot that they changed a walking boot into a game cleat by making it a size 16 and adding tape, I think, in there, which is Ben Roethlisberger. Is there any thoughts when you're playing against a quarterback like that? Like, oh, I got to keep my eyes on him. Oh, I got to wrap. Is that like an extra thing, or is that every single game and you don't really change much of a mindset?
I mean, look, when you're playing against a guy that's that big, you have to make sure that you wrap his ass up because he's bigger than you. So I remember the first time I ever got a sack on Ben Roethlisberger when I couldn't wrap my arms around him because his midsection was bigger than mine. And he's just a load. He is a big dude. So anytime as a linebacker or defensive end that a quarterback like Big Ben or Cam Newton, when Cam Newton walked on the field the first time I played against him, I was like, there's no way I could tackle that guy. He's way bigger than me. But I got him. I got to him. I got him. I got him. But it's funny you guys have Rodgers on. The guys, those mystic blue eyes, I'm telling you, it gives you the wink every now and then. I love listening to him talk, and I'm happy right now this year that he's in a better mind space and having fun because it's great to watch Rodgers. I like to watch the older quarterbacks because I think those guys are like the last of a dying breed. Like, you're not going to see the quarterback play like we've seen in the past from our generation of quarterback play, like the Mannings, the Bradys, the Rodgers, the Roethlisbergers. I mean, those guys are going to be out of the league, and I don't know when they're going to be done, but the new age is a completely different type of quarterback, and it's going to be tough when you don't see those guys out there anymore.
I agree. The new age quarterbacks is electrifying. I mean, it's its own thing. But whenever you're watching a cerebral quarterback just slice and dice a defense and everything, I'm not saying the new guys can't. I'm just saying that was the only option beforehand. It is something special. Did you play against Aaron much? And did you guys ever chat? Because it feels like every time he talks to the opposing team, there's like a chuckle on both sides. It's like a hey, how you doing? Keep it moving type thing. It's very different.
I told you the Wink story. Didn't I tell you the Wink story?
Yeah, you literally just said it, but I didn't know if that was with you or you seen it on TV or not.
No, so I was playing against Aaron Rodgers. I think it was 2016. We were up in their house, and I was the mirror guy, and my responsibility was to make sure that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get around the corner and scramble for a first down. Well, needless to say, there was a play where it was me and him one-on-one in the open field. I'm sure you could pull it up, and I completely missed him. He gave me like recently you've seen the Kyler Murray like stutter step go.
Yeah.
He gave me like a stutter step go, but not as explosive as Kyler, but very good because Aaron is very fast. and he got me around the corner, ran for the first down. I came to the sideline. Bill was mad at me. And then it was in the game. He was making a call. He's doing his cadence, and he looked at me, and he just gave me one of these, and I was just like, oh, man, he knows. He's got me. I'm like, I'm so screwed right now, and I was defeated. And we lost that game. But you know what, Pat? You would really like this. In that game, I snapped every ball. Punt, I played every snap on defense, and I snapped every punt. Money balls, I snapped every field goal, PAT. I was the snapper in that
Let's
game.
go! If you can't stop Aaron, at least you could do is snap for the Patriots. I mean, so this.
When I came on the field to snap, I think it was Clay Matthews was like, "Why are you on the field?"
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, I'm snapping." He's like, "What the heck?" You know, because I was on with all the starters, and you come on as the long snapper for PAT, and he was looking at me. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm snapping the ball." It was good though. It was a fun time. I enjoyed it.
How was your snap?
I've never snapped in a game. I never snapped in a professional game.
Was that your only time? Was that your only time? What happened? Did the snapper get concussed?
No, the snaps were perfect. It was my only time doing it. But in practice, when you go down and you look between your legs and you see the punter, and I used to do all the second team stuff, and I would do all the snaps in camp and preseason. But it's a bit different when you look in between your legs and you see a full stadium at Lambeau full of people. And you know if you airmail this thing and sail it over the punter's head, you're going to lose, and it's all on you. So I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
It's like a pitcher. The more and more I think about it, but the world's upside down, and you're just trying to play catch.
Yes. I remember looking in pregame. I looked between my legs, and I saw the stands behind the punter, and I was like, holy shit.
You're going to have to get bigger, dude. I can't see you in there. You're going to have to get bigger.
I was like, this is why I know some snappers just snap blind, because they don't want to look behind them. They just look up. Like, I don't want to mess up. Don't look up. Don't look down.
I believe we have a photo from that game, by the way. I believe we just – there's
no.
That's the miss. That's the missed tackle. I'm looking at him, and I'm praying that he trips, but he runs for a first down.
Does he know that you're mirroring him in the middle of the game? And how often did you have to mirror somebody? Is that
I don't know why they would make me the mirror guy, because I wasn't the fastest guy in the world.
Yeah, that seems
and Aaron Rodgers is faster than me still and always will be. I mean, they know. The quarterback knows early. The first series, like they know on a third down if number 50 is like floating 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and not really coming after you, you know that he's got the spy in the mirror. So, yeah, he knew, and he got me.
He had to be so happy to see you as the guy over there.
Oh. Yeah, he
probably looked over at Bill and was like, a little fucking respect, please. A little respect, please.
I used to have to cover Reggie Bush, like when he was with Miami, or McCoy one-on-one for a wheel route or an angle. And Reggie would talk to me because we were drafted in the same draft class. He would look at me, and you could speak to each other. I'm on the line of scrimmage. He's like the gun back to me in the gun, and he'd look at me and be like, "You got me one-on-one?" And I'd say, "Yeah," and he'd just smile.
The thought of him standing next to the quarterback like this before the play, and he's like,
"Yeah, that's it." He would like, "You got me one-on-one," and I'd just be like, "Yeah, I got you.
Hey. I mean, that's a bad move, Nick.
We were playing Buffalo, and they had McCoy at this point in his prime, and I had him one-on-one, and I overran the flat because I didn't want to get beat on the wheel. So I overran trying to get leverage up on front of him so he couldn't just outrun me to the flat and then up to the sideline. And he stuck his foot in the ground and ran an angle, and I was 10 yards away from him when he caught the football. It was about maybe like a 60-yard gain. Like he ran for about 60 yards. I ran off to the sideline where everybody was at and pushed him out of bounds, and Matty P was standing right there, and I said, "Don't ever call that again." A DB can't cover him on an angle route. What am I supposed to do?
All right, so let's talk a little current football. By the way, any more of those that you have, I fucking love, because you were in a situation not a lot of people were, by the way. Just, lunch pail type of guy. Mm-hmm. First one in, last one out, sneaky athletic.
Okay, yeah, a lot of sunscreen. I get it.
Crafty, okay, high engine guy. But let's talk about the current football world and one that you used to play with, Tom Brady. Are you worried, if you're a Tom Brady fan or a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, that the Giants seem to be able to get him uncomfortable? The Saints, who have an incredible D-line, they were able to get him uncomfortable. Do you see anything out of Tom Brady that makes you think, like, he'll get it figured out, he'll be good to go? Or are you on the other side like, oh, maybe this is going to be a little bit alarming here as the season continues down there in Tampa?
Well, I said before that matchup, whoever was hitting the quarterback the most, like if it was Tampa hitting Drew or if it was the Saints hitting Tom, was going to win that football game. And Drew, for the majority of the game, was upright, had no pressure on him, was comfortable in the pocket, and pretty much hit every single receiver that he went to. And then Tom, on the other end of that, was on the ground a lot, pressured constantly, good coverage by the Saints. So you got to tip your hat to the Saints. I'm sure Sean Payton was in those meetings this week like, look, nobody believes that we can do this, that Tampa's already winning the Super Bowl in everyone's eyes. So let's go out here and shock the world a little bit. We've already beat them once this year. And you look at Tampa, the games that they've lost, they lose to the Saints week 1. Tom's a lot of pressure on Tom, hit a lot. You lose to the Bears. Tom's rolling his eyes at Mac because Mac is literally hitting him again and again and again. He doesn't know what to do. So it almost looks like, the biggest, most glaring problem for Tampa would be protecting Tom. If you can give Tom time, he's going to slice you up. If he doesn't have the time and the receivers aren't getting open, which he has the guys, so it's they got to figure it out up front. If they can't figure it out, it's going to be a pretty disappointing season for those guys.
Rob, for the Patriots, is Cam Newton going to be the guy for the next, 2-3 years, or is this experiment kind of over in the next QB for them?
70-some million, by the way, next year. It's like top 4 in salary cap for the Patriots.
No, he's not going to be the guy. I mean, I say that just because of the fact that when you watch the offense, week 1 when he was running a lot, that was kind of the identity of what they wanted. They wanted to do the RPO. They wanted to run with Cam. But you can't do that. You can't consistently do that as Cam ages and he's in his 30s. You can't expect him to run with a football and not get just crushed. And over time, you see, at the end of the day, for me, because I'm like an old school kid and I have witnessed the NFL in a different view, I want a quarterback that can stand in the pocket, who can make all the throws. And Cam, I think you question some of his accuracy and his ability to get the ball down the field. He makes some great throws. He does, and you got to give him credit for that. But then also you scratch your head on some of them where he's overthrowing guys that are wide open for a touchdown or underthrowing guys. So for me, I think it would be tough to give him a contract that would keep him around for a few more years because it's not going to be for $5 million a year. It's going to be north of 20. So for me to invest that kind of money, I need to see more accuracy in the pocket and throwing ability from Cam, because from here on out, he's not getting any faster. He's not going to improve his speed. He's not going to be quicker, and he's just going to get older and slower. So you got to be able to throw the ball with accuracy.
Ninko, quick question. You said because of what I've played and what I've seen, I want my quarterback to be able to sit back there and make all the passes. Now, I don't know if that means that you would prefer classic old school quarterback versus maybe the new modern RPO offense quarterback. And if that's the case, I would like to hear your explanation why, because I always thought somebody that could extend a play, like Aaron, by the way, Aaron was way before this whole thing, somebody that can extend a play and make a run is obviously a weapon. But I think what you're saying is let's make sure they can make every throw first and then go off of it from there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but Aaron's different because Aaron is he's extending plays to throw the ball down the field. He's not extending plays to try and run for a first down. He's looking to move in the pocket, get out of the pocket, give a split second more for the receiver to get uncovered, and then throw the ball with accuracy and velocity like he does. Like the dude's playing darts out there 40, 50 yards down the field. So, I want a quarterback that can, number one, check me into the proper play, because at the end of the day, a quarterback is paid to make sure that they run the perfect play against what the defense is showing you. And if you have a quarterback that gets a call come into him and he goes to the line of scrimmage and the call that he's running is a terrible call, I want a quarterback that can say, no, we're going to go with this play, check, or they come in with 2 plays and they understand how to read the defense to say, okay, where is it? Split safety. Where's the safety? Where's the blitz? Who's the hot? Where's the mic? All those things that go into a great quarterback play. I want a quarterback like a Manning, because I played against him and I respect the heck out of that guy, because every time you'd come to the line of scrimmage as a defense, you had to say to yourself, do not show him anything. Don't show him where we're coming. Don't show keep the shell intact so the safeties don't give away anything. Because if you do, he was going to check the play and he was going to kill you with it. So that's what I want in a quarterback. The guys that are running, I know Kyler Murray is doing terrific things right now, but it's only a matter of time before those guys get worn down and they take too many hits and they could potentially be hurt. Your quarterback as a runner, you're throwing the ball down the field, yet you can get hit on your shoulder or jam a finger that can affect you throwing the ball down the field. So I want a guy that's smart in the pocket, knows when to get down. Russell Wilson type. He can scramble. He can run for first downs, yes. But number one, he can throw the ball with accuracy. So the new modern quarterbacks, I love it. But eventually the defenders are going to say, look, we just keep hitting this guy. He's not going to be able to throw the ball down the field great. So,
that's coming from an 11-year vet on the defensive line, by the way. And I think a lot of people said about Lamar Jackson last year, it's like, oh, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. It's going to happen. And people pointed at like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was able to have an extended period of time of success, and he was super athletic. And he could, by the way, remember, he threw that Nerf ball out of the stadium, I do recall. But that's a real thing. It's like, Lamar had this ability not to take big hits last year. I think he still has that ability. Some people have that. But all it takes is one, and I think that is something that everybody should know. It's not saying we hope that it happens, we think it's going to happen, but it's just something that does happen in the NFL is you get one big son of a bitch who's 260, 265, who runs a 4.4, 4.5, Ninko 4.3, if you're Rob Ninko.
Yeah.
All it's going to take is one of those, and it's like, all right, we'll see if they can continue to do that for years to come if you're building a franchise. But for the time being, it is fucking electrifying to watch. What do you got, Ty?
Rob, when you look at the Packers' run defense, in your opinion, is that a scheme issue or is it a personnel issue?
Well, okay, so when you look at a piano, right, there's piano keys, and the white keys are flat and the black keys are higher, right? When you try to stop the run, every single person has to be on the same plane. They all have to be the white keys so they can make sure that there's no cutback, there's no big lanes that open up. When you're a pass rusher, and you're trying to get to the quarterback and you're pass rushing on rundowns, all you're doing is opening up lanes. And when I watch the Packers sometimes, I feel like I see guys trying to get up the field and penetrate when they really need to just set the edge, be more patient, and let the play come to them as opposed to trying to run up the field. I see it all the time. It's like I want to pull my hair out because it's like, when I understand there's a different scheme, and some schemes are just tee off up the field and hope that everyone, your linebackers could come and make the plays. But when you're getting gashed and you watch like the Packers versus the Vikings game and there's just gaping holes everywhere, that's number one, a scheme thing to where guys don't understand where they're supposed to be. And at times people trying to do more than what they should. And at the end of the day, when everybody's on the same page, like the piano keys, the white keys, everyone's on the same plane, that gives you the best chance to at least have a chance to stop the run. And if they can do that, I mean, I think the Packers, in my eyes, they are a potentially big time competitor in the NFC just based on what Aaron Rodgers can do. But the defense is middle of the pack, so they're about 15th, 16th ranked. They're right in the middle. Everyone's high on the Seahawks. Everyone's loving the Seahawks, but they're dead last in defense. I'm talking like
you got to play defense, Ninko. You want to go on a run.
You got to, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, you got to be able to put your defense out there, have confidence that hey, they can stop us. They can make us stop when we need it. And the Seahawks, I'm not a believer. I'm more a believer in the Packers than the Seahawks. Even though people are going to jump on me, be like, "Oh, the Packers gave up a ton of yards." Everyone's giving up a ton of yards to the Vikings. Everybody.
Not in this house.
Not in this house.
Hey, Rob, we got to get to a break. We appreciate you, man. Good luck with your go-kart race. Stay safe over there.
I am winning. If you ain't first or last, that's Rick Bobby.
Keep that thing flat. Keep that pedal down, pal, and go smoke the shit out of those little kids in go-kart. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Ninko. What do you say, Dan and Rob, the show he's shooting up there? We're gonna check it out.
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
how he does. And I think they're going 50 miles an hour. That's very fast.
Dan and Ninko.
There's no way they're going 50 miles an hour. But if he is, might need that helmet.
Elon Musk go-kart.
Big shout out to Rob, by the way. Good stories out of him. Can't wait to hear more from him. I hope he continues to join us throughout the season. In the next hour, we have the incredible Tom Allen, head coach of IU at 105. I didn't know if it was 105 or 125. Yeah. He'll be back basically with us on the other side of this break. Hour one wrapping up on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. You have 6 minutes. Go take a shit. This is Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. A perennial Pro Bowler, an all-pro, a man who's aging like fine wines, Green Bay Packers legend, Super Bowl champion, from Butte, California, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron
Please tell me that that's going to be a one-time thing.
What is the longest you've ever thrown?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Of course you have, by the way. Of course you have. That doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're 10-1. I have long hair. I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked out on the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, who AJ knows Nate really well, and we both said this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and played pretty well and kind of changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed.
Yeah! My kids say, like, oh, if they see him on TV, oh, there's Uncle Aaron, look at that. Oh, Dad, is that Uncle Aaron's dog? I'm like, nah, it's a prop dog. They're like, well, what happens to that? I was like, oh, I think he has it killed after
What the hell's wrong with you?
Like, oh, no,
AJ. I noticed this past Sunday, you were smiling, shaking hands, giving a lot of high fives to the boys on the side. What have you seen in this old footage that has rejuvenated your love? Or is it something else about this 2020 season that seems to have you just in a better headspace?
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months that have really been enjoyable and reminded me, given me perspective on life and in football to view things through the most positive lens I possibly can. And that's why I'm having so much fun. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. This show is, to get sentimental, this show is just another step in that, because I love Paige so much. And Pat, I have so much respect for you and the boys. Like, this was such a fun opportunity, and now I look forward to this every Tuesday.
Taking the Jets plus 9.5 as well. Do it.
I think that's look, I'm a Patriot fan, but I really, there's no reason why they're a 9.5 point favorite against any.
I agree with both of you, but it's just hilarious because how the times changed. 2 weeks ago, you're like, I will never bet against Bill Belichick, and now you're betting against Bill Belichick against Adam Gase.
Which is another team I said I would never bet on. Things have gone sideways. Okay, I lost 71,000 yesterday.
The Patriots are beat up though. The Patriots.
Yeah.
They don't have They have a bunch of. This is going to be a lot of practice squad guys out there tonight.
Patriots are 2-5 against the spread. Their last 7 in New York too.
Oh yes! Boom!
Home team 7-3-1 against the spread. Their last 11 meetings.
Hey, and all I'm going to say is, like, it's not the best matchup tonight, but just enjoy the hilarity. Enjoy Joe Flacco. He's going to do some weird things.
A lot of pass interference is coming, I think.
Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. One of these pieces of paper says it's, I don't know, 10, 11. Oh, you meant 10th and 11th. This is good.
Yeah.
Thought it was like October 11th you put that.
Oh, no, I was thinking the 10th of November.
10th/11.
Yeah, 10th of November.
I thought for sure it was November 10th. And as I was looking up there, I took one last peek down here to make sure we have Tom Allen joining us in 5 minutes or whatever, because, and I see 10/11, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's not October 11th. There's no way.
No.
Yeah, it was very.
Day first, then month.
Okay, so it's like today and tomorrow.
European.
Yeah, it is the European model. Anyways, welcome back to the show. We talked to Rob Ninkovich in the first hour there. Great conversation. Told us stories about Aaron Rodgers, dusting him. Reggie Bush doing the exact same thing. What he thinks about the Patriots currently, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and football in general. It was a great conversation. And now he's currently sitting on an electric go-kart going roughly 50 miles an hour. What a morning for him. Can't thank him enough for joining us. Tom Allen, IU head coach, will be joining us here in moments. He is currently undefeated this year, which is wild because Indiana's always been a basketball school. Tom Allen goes from defensive coordinator to head coach in one season there, and then all of a sudden they start turning things around.
Yeah.
And Ty Schmidt, I didn't see the Big Ten football report that you put out yesterday, but IU's a damn good football team right now in the Big Ten.
Yeah, very good. Explosive offense. Maybe the best team in the Big Ten, not named Ohio State.
Yeah, and Ohio State's kind of at a different level than everybody else. I think even Big Ten has come to the understanding that unless COVID beats the entire team at some point, it's going to be tough to top them, especially with how Justin Fields is playing. But this IU team, I think you can say, hey, these guys are going to give everybody their best effort every single time. In just a year or two ago, that would not ever be said about Indiana, so I'm pumped to talk about it together.
No, yeah, I don't think in my lifetime watching Big Ten football they've ever been relevant, but they are very good this year, and they're very fun to watch.
And the good thing about the Big Ten is you never know what's going to happen because your star player could potentially test positive. I mean, you're out for 3 weeks. 3 weeks is damn near half the whole season. That could be problematic for everybody at that
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Joining us now. Okay, perfect. Joining us now is the head coach of the Indiana University Hoosiers football team. They are currently undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Allen. Coach, what's going on, bub?
I'm doing great, Pat. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, did you lose your voice just yelling in celebration, or are we coaching hard, or what do we got going on down there in
Coaching
Blue?
hard. We just got off the practice field, so my voice is usually hoarse every day.
Okay, what did we work on today? What was the mindset coming off of the massive victory, first time beating Michigan since 1987 or something like that? I mean, it was a paramount victory in your program's early run here, showing that IU is the real deal. What was the practice today? What's the mindset? Do you have to teach them how to win, how to be a great team? Is that a part of this entire thing as well, Coach?
I do think it's part of the process. I think the bottom line is it's about an expectation, and we have that expectation here, and our expectations, that just drives what we believe, and we've talked about that since I got here. I believe we can do things that are special here, things that haven't happened in our players' lifetime. But you do that when you create change. That happens every single day. We've tried to change the way we practice, change the way we, run this program, the way we watch film, the way we do walkthroughs, the way we, train these guys every single day. So they bought into that. So it's back to work today. Tuesday's a big work day for us, and that's what we did.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear. You started, you're an Indiana guy. You started as a high school coach, I think in Florida, but at one point, Ben Davis High School, you became a head coach of, and then you get into the college ranks as defensive coordinator. Then you're defense coordinator for IU. Then you become head coach. Was IU, in your mind, as an Indiana guy, and when you were a high school coaching here and to a lot of success at Ben Davis High School, and then you get in, was IU like the dream job as an Indiana guy, or no? Because IU has never really been known as a football school, which by the way, right now, the conversation around IU begins and ends with the football team, which is something that is really remarkable how quick you've been able to do that. But was IU a dream destination at some point for you?
Well, I would say this, growing up here, I knew full well the history. When I was in high school the last time we beat Michigan. And so bottom line is that the opportunity to be a head coach in the Big Ten is a dream opportunity for me. And the fact that I can do that in my home state makes it really, really special. And so that's how I would answer that question. And so, but it is special for me to be home. I born and raised here. My dad was a head football coach in Newcastle. I played there and just love this program, love this state, love this university. And the fact that I can represent my home state is really, really special.
And I think whenever you move to Indiana, you don't realize how loyal the IU fan base is. The IU fan base is a very loyal one. I mean, there's bars downtown Indianapolis that are just IU bars. I mean, that is a real thing. People love it. But the conversation is always, hey, basketball, right? Pinstripes, basketball, we're going to do this entire thing. Watching them all come out of the woodwork in support of the football team, and this is, I'm going to ask this question because it's 2020 and I have to, but I think you guys would be selling that place out, that stadium out, if it wasn't for COVID right now, which is not a normal thing for IU football at all. So I'm kind of bummed that your football program doesn't get to experience that because COVID's coming by storm. But I feel like with what you're building, with how young your team is, how the offense is, this is going to be for years to come.
I believe so too. And I told our staff that I said, man, the only negative about Saturday was the fact that that place would have been sold out. And when we won, they would have stormed the field and tore down both goalposts. That's the only thing we missed by not having the fans there.
I saw you celebrate with a player. You got a cut on your cheek from that. And then I listened to your press conference where you talked about previous injuries that you've got from celebrating. And I think one of them, you said you obliterated both of your front teeth because of your celebration. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for this show for people that maybe didn't hear your press conference? And also, people should know that you are a celebrating coach. Like you celebrate hard, which is very refreshing to see, by the way.
Well, there's no question. I've always been this way. Matter of fact, one of my former players from Ben Davis texted me after the game and said, man, it's good to see, Coach, you haven't lost it, because I tackled him years ago and got a black eye when I tackled him after a big-time play in the playoffs. And so, but I was at Ole Miss, and so, jumped on a player, and unfortunately his helmet hit me right smack in the mouth and knocked my two front teeth out. Unfortunately, one of those was fake, and so that just disintegrated. But the other one was real, and it knocked it just completely broke in half, and it exposed my nerve, and it hurt like crazy. And so I had to coach the whole rest of the practice with no front teeth.
That's practice.
And you try and talk without your front teeth is a really unique challenge. And then I had to have a root canal. It took like 8 months for the whole thing to get fixed. I had a fake tooth in there. I had to pop in and out for months. And so I still celebrate, but I don't wear a mouthpiece. I probably should, but I did learn to turn my head. That's why I turned my head and I caught my cheekbone on. We have a lot of fun here at Indiana football.
It sounds like it. I did not know in Bloomington, by the way, great time. So, I mean, if you're a football player looking for a great town with a team, it sounds like has a great time and seems like the culture is an awesome one. Definitely think about the IU Hoosiers. Things are coming around. But the fact, I didn't know that you lost both your teeth celebrating with a player from a practice. What happened in the practice that you got? You're just jacked all the time. You see people do good plays.
The guy, it was a linebacker. When linebackers make plays, I was linebacker coach, and he did things the way he's supposed to be done. I just jumped on him, and he's a big 6'5" guy, and it was a bad decision, and and it hurt really bad, So, but I just brushed it off and went to the dentist.
How do you? Man, you're very refreshing to talk to, by the way, because normally coaches are just like super, we got the whole thing, and here's our recruiting pitch, this is what you're going to get, okay, the boys will come in here, blah, 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 the whole thing. Listening to you talk about celebrating with your players is so refreshing to hear, especially in a world that has gone so corporate and so everything like that. It's very refreshing to talk to you, Coach. I wasn't 100% sure. I looked into you a little bit last night on the internet. I'm pumped to hear that you are exactly what they read about with this whole thing. Whenever you build your coaching coaching staff? Is that something you look for? Like, hey, we have to have the same matching energy, or do you kind of balance it out? Like, okay, got a hard-ass guy here. Not that you're not hard. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, though, in the football world, a hard-ass coach. Do you try to balance it out, or do you try to, like, bring people that have your same energy? Because I think Mike Hart's
balance it out. I think you have to balance it out. I think you have to have different personalities, and not everybody's as excitable and as high-strung as I am, and that's good. I think both coordinators that I have are both more, even keeled than my personality. And so I think you have to have tremendous balance, but you have to have fit. I'm looking for guys that fit with what I believe in, which is the core values of accountability, toughness, and love. And I want guys that believe in that believe it's about relationships, building with your players. And I want guys that value their family. I want guys that want to be great husbands and fathers, because I want that to be the underlying theme of our program. If we want to build men that are going to go out in the future and change this world for the positive and make an impact in their communities. And so that's the kind of guys I attract. That's the kind of guys I want that are faith family guys and you just coach with a ton of energy. But you better be energy. You better bring your energy now, as we ain't going to fit here, and so, but at the same time, not everybody's going to be just like me. I don't want a bunch of robots and guys that just are yes men.
Coach, has it been difficult keeping your kids, kind of in line in terms of COVID? I mean, they're ranked 10th, they can't really enjoy it too much outside of the facility. When you see what's happened with Wisconsin, like, has that been more difficult than you imagined, or?
It's challenging, and it's just one of those things that we have to, we got to deal with it. We got to make sacrifices, and even as our own families. I mean, I came and have my own families here to the games, and we used to have the games come over to the house, and we can't do all that, and so it's just it's tough for everybody. Now the close families can come and watch, but even then they're like, we got to say, hey, you got to wear a mask when you're around your family that's coming from Florida or Virginia or Texas or, California, wherever. We got kids from all across the country on our team. And so that part is challenging because, you don't know who you're around and who they've been around. And so you just can't have your normal interactions, and guys can't go to parties, and they can't go to large group gatherings. And that's and we're not with them. And so we don't have little trackers on them to tell us where to go. We got to trust them that they're going to make good decisions and not put this team in jeopardy. And so, but our guys have done a great job, but it's a daily challenge that isn't going away.
The interesting thing about it is, I think the longer we're in it, the less we know about it, because there's certain instances where COVID runs wild on some people, brother, and they're like, we have no idea why it happened. Like, we literally have no clue how it happened, why it happened. It seems like there's going to be it's got to be tough. After the season, are you going to allow them like a week where you can say like, hey, all right, go get COVID, go have a good time because of the lockdown that you've been on? How are you going to handle that, Coach? How are you going to handle that?
That's a great question, but the answer is no. But yeah, I mean, what's the future hold? I don't know, and it's like, even we talk about having to, get ready for your bowl game. We usually let our guys go home for some time, and are we going to be able to do that? I mean, it's just there's so many unanswered questions about what's January going to look like, what's February going to look like, so
December.
We don't even into December, so it's crazy.
The Graham Mertz, was that his name? Mm-hmm. The Wisconsin kid who's out for 21 days. That had to be quite a wake-up call for all the players. It's like, if you're balling out or have a chance, you guys have a special opportunity here that not a lot of teams do, right? Early in the season, a lot of teams lose games that they're not supposed to, and they're immediately out of conversation. Indiana has been thrusted into conversation now because you guys get wins and stack wins. And if you're a player, and you saw what happened to Graham, who had the biggest night of his life, 5 touchdowns opening night. He took the world by storm. This is going to be the guy. Now he's out for 21 days. I assume that in of itself is enough motivation to keep it locked down. But that sucks. That's going to be tough. That's the human aspect of it. That's tough to deal with for the college kids.
It is, and that's where you're right. We had a tangible example within our own conference of a team that we're going to be playing here in the next few weeks. And so it is a wake-up call to realize, hey, man, that could have been me. And our guys recognize that. We talk about that as a team and use it as an example. And the thing is, sometimes you could be doing everything right, and who knows how you get it. Like you said, the more this goes along, the less we seem to know. And so the bottom line is, you just got to do everything within your power to mitigate the risk of getting this virus and trying to stay healthy. And so it's just added to the challenge and the uniqueness of 2020. It's been a crazy ride so far.
Coach, you're tackling players during the game. It's awesome. But for your pregame speeches, do you bash your face off of every face mask in the locker room, or are you just kind of yelling at them, letting them know it's time to go?
Yeah, no, I don't. I've not done the head bashing piece, but I would say that I'm a pretty fiery guy and passionate, believe in what we're doing here, believe in the way we're building this thing. So yeah, I try to just think of things that are guys that relates to what we've talked about during the week and kind of comes to crescendo right before kickoff and at halftime and because to me that's not about some rah-rah speech that's going to motivate him, but it's about just appealing to the very structural things that we put in place, the things that we do every single day, the things we believe in. And a lot of it, too, is us just, making history together and proving people wrong and having that chip on our shoulder and something to prove every single time we take the field. And it's an awesome, powerful thing to see a group of young men believe in a vision that you set forth when nobody else believed just several years ago. And now to see those things come to reality, it's a special, special thing. And I just appreciate these young men for believing in me and believing in this program. And that's why those locker room scenes have been so special.
Well, it's been paying off. I mean, it's been awesome to watch you guys celebrate, play, everything like that. I got a tweet from a guy who I follow. I was just trying to find it while you were speaking there. He said he's done some either work with you or the team, and there's like a word of the year or something like that. Do you have like a word of the year? Do you know who that man is so I can properly give him credit? I think he's like a guru, a life guru or something like that. And what is
John Gordon?
There it is, John Gordon. Damn, that's on me, John. I follow you. That's on me for not knowing that, and I appreciate the tweet. What is the word of the year, and what is that entire process?
Well, it's called One Word, and he wrote a book entitled by One Word. That's the title of the book, and he wrote with several guys, and so he does a phenomenal job of just teaching individuals how to, focus in on one thing. And so our one word for 2020 is relentless. And so that one word becomes the overarching theme of our entire program. 2019's theme was grit. And 2018's theme, one word was finish. 2017's one word was breakthrough. And those words become part of our program. But this year it's relentless. So everything we do, it gives us laser focus and attention to, blocking out all the noise and all the things. And we zero in on this is what we want to focus on for us to be where we want to be as a program. And I felt like that was a great word to follow up the breakthrough season that we had in 2019, where we showed tremendous grit and tremendous toughness and tremendous fight to win 8 games for the first time in 26 years and go to a bowl game for first time and just all those different things that we're doing. And then followed up with how we're going to take this thing to another level. We got to be relentless in everything that we do. Relentless effort, relentless focus, relentless attention to detail, relentless grit. And so to me, it's about that one word that just gives us tremendous focus and all our energy into one thing so we can do great things on the field together.
Hey, Coach, I can't wait to watch you guys continue this relentless season, pal, with COVID coming down. Ohio State's knocking down the door here a little bit. I can't wait to watch you and the boys figure it out. Congrats on all the recent success and keep it going.
Thank you so much, Pat. I sure appreciate you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Coach Tom Allen. Yeah! All right, Coach. It's a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A weapon. That John Gordon guy, I follow him. He's like one of those like life guru guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he said he sent a tweet that was like, ask him about their one word of the year or whatever. And I saw it yesterday. And then obviously I hammer home my Jets plus 9.5 bet.
Sure.
A lot of things happen. I sleep well. The whole wake up, do a little of this, a little bit of that, eat some Arby's. A lot of things have happened since then. I'm happy to remember that. Relentless, Connor. Relentless, pal.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be for the rest of the year. And I love how grit was last year. That's even better.
Yeah, grit's a great word. Grit is a great word. Chuck Gunner once gave us grit chips.
Really?
Got chips. Everybody pull them out.
Add them up. Did you get a reward at the end of the season, like grittiest person, most gritty chips?
So in the military, they have something called challenge coins, okay, which is, they're like I think that's what they're called. I assume somebody in the military will correct me immediately upon saying that. By the way, shout out to the Marine Corps. Happy 245th birthday to them.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to them. Challenge coins, different loot. I think there's different, I don't know. Different branches have them. There's an Army one, military one, and then different like admiral. Like I got an admiral one, for instance, which I think is pretty high up. Like not everybody has them, and it's one of these things where if you go to a bar, okay, and you pull out the challenge, you're supposed to like pull out your challenge code, put it on the bar. If somebody amongst you doesn't have one, they have to pay for the drinks or something like that. Right? So Chuck had this, after we went on this USO tour, and we went to a bar with a couple people, and somebody didn't have it, he was like, I think his idea was like, all right, we're going to have these grit chips, and on Sundays, we're going to have everybody pull out their grit. Whoever doesn't, shun's a bitch and don't play. It was real, though. It was a cool thing because Chuck had just beat cancer, I think, at that point. And then there was a book called, like, The Greatest Word is the word grit, which is real. And we kind of got a chance to learn about it. Oh, man, I used to know the definition of grit, like, by heart because it was almost one of those things we had to do. Something, I don't even want to butcher it right now. And if Chuck sees this, he'll be so pissed that I don't remember it, to be honest. I still got my grit chip, though.
Did you lose your grit?
No, I still got it. I did lose my grit a little bit. I've made a lot of money, but I do still have the grit chip at the old house. Go ahead, Dibs.
I'm seeing the definition of grit as courage and resolve, strength of character.
That wasn't the one that we had. I'll tell you that. Let's go to Jordan. Maybe he lied. Whoa. No, look up the book. There's a book like on the word grit or something like that. It was one of those things like the relentless grit, like your team gets like a motto. It was real. It was really cool.
We need to get grit chips in here.
No, there ain't nobody in here with a fucking grit chip. No.
Doritos.
Ain't nobody. Maybe Zito in that meat sweatsuit, he'll get a grit chip because of how damn good he looks. It's got to be hard to keep everybody off him when he's wearing that.
Meat chips.
Stay off my meat. Suit.
Is that Ben Roethlisberger talking to him?
How about perseverance and passion for long-term goals?
There it is. That would be the one. Is that the book? What's the name of the book?
That's the grit definition as a personality trait.
There's a book by Angela Duckworth.
Yeah, that's what's it called?
Grit, the power of passion and
perseverance. What you just said towards long-term goals. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Great book, by the way, from what I've been told.
Check it out.
I read that book exactly like I read every other book in my life.
Oh, yeah?
Let somebody else read it. They talk about it. I pick it up as if it's my own.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad play, by the way, if you're in high school or college right now.
Raise your hand early in class.
Answer the first fucking question.
Yep.
Let's talk about what they thought about the chapter last night. You fucking get that thing up. You fire that thing up as fast as possible. And from what you heard others over speaking about, you start now a conversation that you think they will be able to continue. Okay? Been doing that a long time. Got me a lot of places. Didn't give me a degree in college. No, it doesn't work that way, but it will get you through high school.
Not yet. Still might get that degree.
Hopefully not, but maybe.
Honorary masters?
Doctorate?
I think a doctorate.
Yeah.
I think I'm going for a doctorate at some point.
From IU, perhaps.
Pretty cool.
No, by the way, they have a great business school. They have like a top 5 or top 10 business school or something at IU.
Honorary MBA.
Well, that's where Cubes went, right?
Yeah, Mark Cuban's from there. Bloomington is a good time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Bloomington, Indiana is a good time. They have something called Little 5, which is called the Little 500. They race bicycles instead of Indy cars because that's what happens in the Indianapolis 500. Little 5 in Bloomington is a bicycle race that the college, it's like a real bike race, like actual speed bikes in a thing that the college students decide to turn into a fucking festival and they make it massive. We went down there, it's a good time. It is allegedly the best thing to ever happen on college campuses. After going down there, I will say it is a great thing to happen on college campuses.
I agree.
But Morgantown, West Virginia looks like Little 5 literally every single Saturday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. And you got to remember that's because none of our schools are good at West Virginia. Like the business school is good at IU and like things like that. In West Virginia, you might as well be going to South Harmon
Institute of Technology.
Not anymore, by the way. Not anymore. The physical therapy school is good. Like there are some good schools at West Virginia, but a majority of the students, I think it's like a 70% dropout rate after the first semester. So like the people you see representing the nightlife and things like that, they are not there for education at all. They are strictly spending money that they don't have to get away from home for 5 months or whatever and just tear it down. And then lo and behold, spring, everything kind of settles off. And then the next fall, we're back, baby. Here's a 70% dropout rate right here. Bingo.
That's what college is all about.
That's what it used to be. I don't know if it's still like that at West Virginia. I think they tried to change it a lot. Gordon Gee, I think, is the president. So whenever I say Little 5, like I very much respect how much of a good time you guys have because you guys are actually getting an education and a degree and going to go on to do incredible things in the academia field. At West Virginia, there are those that do that, but a large majority are not. And that Little 5 is something that happens very regular.
4 times a week.
Very, very regular.
In West Virginia, you guys were all at the pinnacle of
sports.
Yes, for sports, for basketball, football.
I do feel like my view on how good of a time some people's colleges are is a little bit jaded, strictly basing it off how I did college, which is not probably anywhere near accurate because the basketball team was unbelievable. We had penny pitchers on Wednesdays. Drink till you drowned on Thursday. I mean, it was just Tuesday. I mean, it was $5 at the door, pay no more on like Tuesdays. I mean, it was just
Good name.
outrageous.
All these bars must have shut down, right?
Yeah, they turned over a lot of it. But the reason for drugs, a lot of them, because they were selling a lot of drugs, I guess.
They had to.
So the front was the liquor. We're making all this money, but really it's just we're making negative thousands of dollars because we have to kind of
smelling smack out the back though.
I'll never forget, I think it was my senior year, maybe my junior year. There was gunshot sounds like on the campus. Oh my God, lock it down. What's going on? ICE and I believe the FBI and some other people raided a club that I frequented, and they were shooting smoke things.
Tear gas?
Tear gas, like things like that. I guess there was a pretty big little mafia meeting happening in the back with all the guys that used to take care of me at all the clubs, all the owners. They all got taken down. Jail, like 30. I think one guy's still in jail right now. The guy that used to let me into his bar when I was like, 14 years old. He was just like, yeah, come on in. Took care of me a couple times. He was moving weight, I guess. That's all those bars are, I guess, just fronts. And that's why you can get great deals. Don't know if that'll happen anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
Anyways, that was my college experience. They were just giving away booze.
Better than most, I believe.
I do think so. That's why whenever I went down to Little Five, with how much it's been talked about, I was like, oh, it's going to be like Morgantown. Turns out Morgantown wasn't a real town because everything was actually illegal. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We're kind of coming to some realization here that I probably shouldn't judge everything off of the fairy tale town that Morgantown was when I was there.
Wild, Wild West.
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. The burning of couches thing. I mean, that's what we got known for. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to burn couches again. I was like, no shit. What are you talking about? Burning the couches isn't the only thing that's happening here.
Beginning.
There was one street that, when you would party on it, I forget the name of it. What's that broken glass, walking on broken glass song?
Die Hard.
What's the name of that?
Walking on Broken Glass by Annie Lennox.
Yeah, so Walking on Broken Glass. That song would come on. I went to a street party that they had there, and they had a party I think 3 times a week. It was on the other side of town.
Grant Street.
Something. It wasn't Grant Street. It was on the other side of town. I go over there, and I'm like hanging out on the front porch, and people are putting their couches up there for sacrifice. Like, yeah, here you go. You can use this one if you want. So they take the couches off the front porch that I'm standing on, and they go and light it on fire. I'm like, oh, okay, I've always seen the after of the couches. I've never seen the build up for it. So the couches, now there's like 10 on fire on the entire block, okay? Street is not shut down, but it is basically. And then Walking on Broken Glass comes on, and you see all the owners of the houses come out to their porch and just chuck beer bottles onto the glass or onto the street. Everybody's screaming, walking on, bottles breaking, bang, couches on fire. And I was just like, holy shit. So I tossed my bottle.
Naturally.
And I got out of it. And I talked to the guy that invited me to the party that owned the house. And I was like, is that every party? They're like, oh yeah, man, 12:30 or 12 midnight, whatever it was, 1 a.m. At some point, Walking on Broken Glass comes, and it just becomes broken bottles being thrown onto couches being fired. I'm like, holy shit, you guys are living over here.
Bedlam.
See you next week.
So like whenever people tell me it's the greatest in college party experiences, it's hard to take them serious whenever I've seen what the fuck I've seen in Morgantown.
Makes sense.
And I'm assuming there's still a lot of that in Morgantown. But I think they did try to change it to make it like an official.
Cleaned it up.
Anyways, Bloomington's a good time.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is Bloomington's a good time, good school. I'm just not 100% sure if it could. I'm not sure anybody could hang with what we were doing in Morgantown whenever I was there. Now, granted, if I make those 2 kicks, I couldn't even fathom what that fucking town would have been. God damn it. And that's on me. And I'll learn from that. But boy, what a run it was. The basketball team was so good.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
So right after us, it went right into the basketball team. And then spring is just, every college is just a nightmare. And I go right back into it. Jesus.
Perfect.
Because at first it was Beeline, Pittsnoggle, and them.
Yep.
And then they graduated, and it was Deshaun Butler and Joe Alexander and this whole crew, and they just took it to another level. Anyways, Bloomington, good time. 31 minutes into the second hour here. We'll take some phone calls on the other side.
Hell yeah.
This is the Pat McAfee Show, Channel 82, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. I don't even know what that means.
Great movie.
The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here?
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
Hey, by the way, Mason jar, real crowd pleaser last week whenever you were drinking out of that. I'm a big fan of that move. Is that just what your kitchen is? Just a bunch of mason jars and paper plates and stuff like mine?
No, that's vodka, by the way.
I heard you're a bad flip cup player. That makes no sense at all because with how good you are at twirling a flip.
Again, that's a total lie. Graham Harrell had no idea how to play flip cup.
Okay.
You got back to your trash talking about wrestling that I saw. I thought maybe you're going to call out AJ to be a partner of yours and get him involved. He's long wanted to follow in the footsteps of his heroes like Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan. I mean, he's done probably as many drugs as those guys. So.
The reaction to your Zoom conference call where you were asked about defenses figuring out your offense and you said 1 of 5 or whatever, the reaction was awesome. It was like, Aaron Rodgers is in a bad mood. Aaron Rodgers is moody. This is what happens when Aaron Rodgers loses games. He's moody. When you sit there and you say something like that and you watch the world react to it, what are your immediate thoughts?
I didn't see a lot of the reactions, to be honest, Pat. I really didn't. I will address, last Wednesday. I think it was one of the poorest set of questions that I've received all year. Those people got a job to do. We were 4-1, and I think I've been really good on those. Try and be as thoughtful as possible. But I thought, some of the questions were just poor questions.
Aaron, can it sometimes hinder a quarterback if you have a stud receiver that you are thinking like, hey, I got to go to this guy?
I don't know. I don't think any quarterback looks at it like that. I really don't. I just think that's the wrong way to play if you are. I just think that there's certain guys who just have that special star quality, like Julio, so you do feed them, intentionally sometimes because they have usually a bigger catch radius. They have the ability to run more routes. There's been times in my career where I need a play, and it happened in the Super Bowl. I felt like we were just a little bit off. I was maybe running a little high emotionally, and we called a screen pass on 3rd and 1, and I alerted the go route outside of Jordy Nelson for a touchdown, and that settled me down. I think it settled our offense down, and we went on to win the game.
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC-regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back here on this November 10th, 2020. I want to let you know that nobody listening to this show is sleeping on Arby's anymore.
No.
The sandwiches are made fresh to order every single day. They're brisket. Slow roasted for 13 hours. That makes sense. I had the slow brisket here down Smokehouse Brisket 2 days in a row. 13 hours that thing's been slow roasted.
Jeez.
That's fast. That's still considered fast food somehow.
Yeah.
You're getting slow roasted brisket for 13 hours. Think of how tender that would make your meat.
How do they do it?
Well, they didn't stop there, boys. What's the best part about Thanksgiving?
Turkey.
Leftovers.
Oh, that's right, the leftovers. Arby's said, you know what, we got this meat thing down pretty good. How about we change the game this Thanksgiving? No more having Connor try to burn the house down frying turkey because Arby's would like to introduce the Deep Fried Turkey Club. We're talking deep fried turkey breast, natural cheddar cheese, pepper, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayo, all on a toasted star top bun. Let's go! Get your deep fried turkey club today. Send us a picture of you eating that or any other of the incredible Arby's lineup that is very, very broad, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And use the hashtag Arby's is great. And you can still enter to join the contest for Zito's beautiful meat suit. That is a one-of-a-kind item. We will sign it and mail it to one person that uses the hashtag Arby's is great. Be proud that you eat Arby's. It says a lot more about you than you could fathom, and they're all damn good things.
Oh, hell yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Let's take some phone calls, shall we? We just got off the phone with Coach Tom Allen of IU. That man is leading a hell of a program. And you automatically, and this is me being a cynic or just watching the world, I assume he's going to be up for some jobs.
Probably.
With what he's been able to do at IU. Indiana guy, rebuilding an entire program. Hopefully he takes the Luke Fickell route, because when Luke Fickell started having success at Cincy, a lot of teams reach out, and I think the way he worded it was like, I still got some stuff to do here. Like, I think it feels like Tom Allen's going to be like that with those guys, especially with how excitable he is. I'm pumped to see what IU can do, because if the Hoosiers have a good football team, that's good for Indiana, which is where we live, and I'm pretty pumped up about that.
Absolutely.
They were a basketball school.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball. Bobby Knight's throwing chairs. You're doing that. They're starting to play really good in Big Ten. I'm pretty pumped up about it. Let's get some phones, shall we? Jordan in Michigan, what's going on, pal?
Good afternoon, Pat and gentlemen. How are you on this beautiful Aaron Rodgers Tuesday?
Hey, fantastic. How are you, pal?
I'm great. 2 quick shout-outs. First off, Ty Schmidt, what's up, fellow Packers shareholder?
How we doing, man? Go Pack, go.
Great. How are you? Go Pack, go. And second one, on behalf of each and every single Marine, past and present, including me, thank you for that happy birthday wish, gentlemen.
Happy birthday, pal. We appreciate your service. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Quick question about the Packers. What is it going to take in order for Brian Stoogekunst to get booted out of Green Bay?
It's a very good question, Jordan. We're not 100% sure. Who would make that firing? The guy above him? Ted?
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Murphy?
And it seems like, there's a couple names up there, I guess, because the owner doesn't exist, right? It's Ty, it's Jordan, it's many others. So we don't know who all gets to pull the trigger down there. Who knows who pulls the trigger and makes a decision to move on? It's Ted, Mark.
I'm not you hear Mark Murphy. Russ Ball apparently is the contract guy. I mean, who knows? He's not going anywhere.
Contract guy is probably taking orders from GM. I would assume not. Like that's an interesting chain of command there. And who gets to say what to who? Because if you do recall, trade deadline day just a couple weeks ago, LaFleur wanted somebody and somebody else didn't. It's like, well, who's the person that can be like, yeah or no? They ain't got it, which is a gift and a curse, says Andrew Brand, who used to work in there.
And you hear that he was handpicked, so I'm guessing that, there's probably someone above him that's kind of pulling the strings a little bit, but, I mean, he's not going anywhere.
Let's go to Steve in Pennsylvania. What's going on, Steve?
How's it going, Pat, boys? How are we doing, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you doing, pal?
Good. Just a couple questions here. I love that you guys love Arby's. Taking it to all the Stooges. I know you guys have great taste in music. Show me Year of the Buffalo. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Is Nickelback the Arby's of the music world? And then second, for a sports question, is TJ Watt the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year after getting screwed last year?
Great question there about Nickelback being Arby's.
Look at that photograph.
No, Arby's is the Frank Sinatra of the fast
Well, no, he's
food
saying because
world.
Arby's gets unwarranted hate.
Yeah, disrespect.
Yeah, which is interesting.
When they actually both of those people put out absolute greatness.
Well, Creed, too, right? Creed also took a lot of heat there for a while.
Yeah. Nickelback actually does stink, though.
That's just not
well,
true.
That's what we're talking. That's why.
Photograph. Come on.
That's why I was pretty.
Because they're Canadian.
Every time I eat, it makes me laugh.
Rock star.
I was just thinking about the tie into Arby's there, and as official partners of Arby's now, I almost thought it was almost a shot, but then I had to think but a lot of people like Nickelback, so I didn't. I don't think I love the comparison at all. What's something that everybody loves? That's what Arby's should be.
Bruno Mars.
Good call.
Bruno Mars does seem to be loved by everybody.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable talent.
He's so small too, but he gets that little body rocking, doesn't he?
He does.
And we had heard before that he was potentially a listener of the show. We could be back in his rotation. Want to let you know, little guy, we fucking love you around here.
Love you.
Does that I mean, that little son of a bitch puts on a show. Where's he been? He disappeared.
He should do the Super Bowl halftime show every single year.
Every year. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Oh, he's been cooking, though.
Yeah,
With his boys.
Bruno is cooking in the lab.
Uptown funk you up.
TJ Watt, Defense Player of the Year. I would obviously assume that he's in there, that Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to be widely considered, I think, the best defense in the league by the end of the season. So somebody off of that defense is probably going to get it. Minka Fitzpatrick seems to be getting a turnover every single game. Will that stat help him over a TJ Watt? Also, Aaron Donald has been the focal point of every single game that the Los Angeles Rams have been on because of how much of a game changer he is. That's always going to be a tough one to top. But I think TJ Watt being in that conversation has to have him pretty pumped up at this particular stage of his career.
Aaron Donald, TJ Watt are the favorites. And I saw this weekend that TJ Watt passed Aaron Donald as most pressures this season on the quarterback.
Okay, very interesting now. And if you're an Aaron Donald fan, you say, well, two very different positions, okay? One has to get it up the gut, which is a little bit thicker down there, and one comes off the edge. But whatever the case, both game wreckers and men who are going to make a lot of money doing what they do for a long time, and two guys that have been on this show, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
What did Aaron Donald brought us pizza, right?
Pizza,
Yeah, he did.
yeah.
He brought us pizza. Good.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, good guy.
Great guy. He brought us like 3 large pies.
Drew Brees brought us stuff too, right?
No, he brought you, and it was actually a small smoothie too.
No, it was a big one.
No, he could have very easily brought you a large one, but cost.
No, he
Brought you the little sippy cup one.
He didn't bring you anything there?
No, he most definitely did bring us anything.
He didn't bring you guys anything?
He brought you an elbow to the back of your head.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did.
Oh, Drew Brees.
I still have a headache from it.
I saw you in a neck brace too.
Yeah,
shortly thereafter.
I should have, and I could have. I could have been an owner of whatever fucking slushy company he's running or whatever the hell it is.
Smoothie Queen.
Smoothie Queen, yeah.
Smoothie King. Okay, Smoothie King did nothing to be attacked in this entire thing. Dairy Queen, Smoothie King.
That's why I, little Freudian slip, as they say.
Hey, by the way, desserts at Arby's also fantastic.
Shakes.
Shakes are good. Turnover's great. I'm so happy that we are literally being paid to talk about how good Arby's is.
I mean, we would anyway.
We've had to hold the trigger off for a long time. Now we can just unload completely. They got a deep fried turkey pillow too, by the way.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. It looks
It's on its way. It is on its way.
Yes.
Let's go to Grant in.
Oh man.
What town are you from in Ohio, Grant?
It's called Lancaster.
Okay, so yeah, it's normally spelled Lancaster, but you guys call it Lancaster because you live there. And there's a Lancaster in Pennsylvania as well, right?
That's right.
Okay, yeah. Mitt spelled it as Lancaster.
With a G?
Yeah, with a G.
Lancaster.
Yeah, I mean, Esther too. I mean, it was.
Oh, laying Esther.
Grant, what do you want to talk about, bub?
So I've always wondered, when it comes to the pads that you guys wear in the NFL, do you guys have to have like an equipment manager that just gives you these pads, or can you guys go in and actually like customize them to make them more comfortable for you?
You can make them more comfortable, but you go through the equipment manager strictly because it's free that way, and they have connects with every single equipment company that you could possibly want. Like some guys will have their own shoes custom made and everything like that, and a lot of guys obviously have shoe deals. But the equipment room have the connects to get you everything you need in like a day and a half if need be or whatever. Not as opposed. I would assume that some guys find things in maybe a sporting goods store or something like that, and maybe bring it up at some point. But the equipment rooms are some of the coolest places in the entire NFL, by the way. The amount of the bins of shit that's back there, it's like it's a sporting goods store. The Colts, and also that's where you're going to find the best dudes in the building alongside the trainers and everything like that. You get it. But it's the equipment rooms are a place to behold for sure.
Did you ever play with anyone who wore like the same shoulder pads from like high school?
Vinatieri.
Yeah?
Vinatieri shoulder pads. I don't know if they were from college or not, but it looks like they're from his childhood days. Those things were the smallest shoulder pads of all time. And I'm not 100% sure if they had to get it okayed or not with the NFL. I'd assume that they had to each year, or like Vinny got grandfathered into it. But his pads were hilarious. And if they go up in the Hall of Fame or whatever, it's going to look like he's a player from the 1920s. Those pads were so beat up, so small, so tiny. But they look very comfortable, obviously. Yeah, that's how they are. But the equipment rooms kind of handle everything. That was a great question, though, I think.
Did kickers and punters, did you guys have to wear knee pads?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
And the new rules that were created with the uniform being standard for everybody, the kickers and punters were the only ones that were allowed to have the pant above the knee and didn't have to have any leg pads at all. So we were okay to not have any leg pads, and that's obviously for mobility reasons and everything like that. But also a big part of that rule that some people did start to take advantage of a little bit. We were the only ones that were allowed to wear whatever shoes we wanted.
Ooh.
So we were allowed to wear whatever shoes. So guys were working little side deals with companies that didn't have deals with the NFL, so they couldn't get on the field. Yeah, they put an end to that, but it was it was pretty cool to kind of watch guys be like, wait a minute. So if I go get a Reebok shoe right now, you guys just kicked them out of the league. Hey, Reebok, you want to get on an NFL field? Come on. I got a deal for you, bub. I'll kick some balls. And they shut that down. But kickers are allowed to color shoe, don't have to match if it's a certain shoe and everything like that. So, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, Google did Adam Vinatieri wrong here.
Yeah,
this is what they said
that's
for his
exactly what they look like, though. They're white, though, so they just look like a beat-up off-white. But, yeah, it's almost a leather pads like you're showing right there. By the way, those leather pads kind of look like a meat suit. That on right there. You look damn good in that meat suit, by the way. Let's go to Nick in Indiana. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
Hey, what's going on, bub?
Good, how are you? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Quick shout out to Ty and Connor. You guys are both really awesome. I love watching the show. And especially
you don't think?
Connor having his little meltdowns about the Patriots. Quick question about Notre Dame football team. So with how they did against Clemson, even against freshmen, do you think that they can perform as good as they did against Clemson, against like Alabama or Ohio State if they make the college football playoffs?
A great question, Nick. Also, talking about Alabama being like the standard for everybody. After IU beats Michigan, I don't know if you guys saw this, there was a video going around of out in the parking lot, a bunch of fans were out there, and they gathered outside the stadium because they weren't allowed in the stadium at all, and they started chanting, "We want Bama." I loved it. I was just like, yeah, let's go. We want Bama. But I think you're discrediting the Clemson team a lot by saying that. I think that Clemson team, now granted they lost to Joey Burrow and LSU last year in the national championship, and then previous year they won it. They are a standard. Like, they are the standard in college. So that's why them losing was such a big deal. That's why you could see how the crowd potentially got so excited for making that happen. But is it a different style of football you're asking that Alabama runs, that Clemson doesn't, that could cause problems for Notre Dame? Yeah, I think Notre Dame could have troubles with the other top teams in the country. But I think Notre Dame should definitely be in the conversation of top teams in the country because they beat Clemson. Now, DJ Uiagalelei is a hell of a player. He's not Trevor Lawrence, so I guess that is an asterisk that people could hold over their head. But he's a player. He's damn good at football. He would be starting at probably every other school in the country right now if he wanted to. So I think Notre Dame should give themselves a little bit of credit, a little bit of respect.
I was listening to a show this week, and they had a bookmaker on, and they said if they most likely will face each other again in the ACC championship, Clemson will open up as a 10-point favorite if Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, something to think about.
Neutral site, too.
And Trevor Lawrence also playing, middle linebacker for them? Or
Yeah.
Wow. It feels like they're...
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row, their defenses looked very, very suspect.
Yeah, Venables, by the way, is the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he can't get it right, who can? Well, I think they had some injuries. It's tough. But they're Clemson. And they might get COVID at some point, so they got to watch themselves.
Next guy up.
Who knows who's going to win in college? Because all you need in the Big Ten is one Graham Mertz situation happen. Bang, gone for 3 weeks. SEC, same exact thing. If somehow Saban came down from the rafters that game, but if that happens to somebody else, I mean, anybody can potentially win it this year.
Do you think that's a real concern in the Notre Dame facility right now? It's like, hey, there's probably a good chance that like 40 of you guys have COVID.
Why? Because the storming of the field?
Yeah.
Well, I think Brian Kelly told the team, and Diggs said this yesterday off air. I'm not 100% sure if it was right. Brian Kelly, or maybe Connor did. Brian Kelly told the team that when they win this game, there's a chance that the fans are going to storm. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we win, get off the field.
I don't think that happened.
Them get off the field, or him say it?
No, them getting off the field right away.
No, yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, a field storming situation is electrifying. It'd be hard to go ahead. The only time I was ever a part of a field being stormed, it was the other way. We lost.
Oh, shit.
I was never a part of a fun storming of the field. It's kind of a shame.
You guys sung Country Roads at the other games, right?
Yeah, we did. We had a great time, too, but it was tough. At West Virginia, there was like a 10-foot, 11-foot wall. There was a chance to kind of, but there would have been some let the bodies hit the floor situations there.
Blow some backs out.
But whenever we would play places, by the way, there was always a chance that the field was going to get stormed because of how we were doing. Mm-hmm. Louisville, Thursday night football happened. And I almost watched a little Caucasian boy from Louisville almost get his head ripped off by a guy named Johnny Dingle from Dade, Florida, Dade County. And it would have been awesome. It would have been absolutely awesome. And I think it was Johnny Dingle. I think it was. By the way, one of my favorite teammates of all time, nobody knows exists. He was the Dingle in the Dingleberry question, or the Dingleberry photo from back in the day alongside Scooter Berry. Those two really good guys. But yeah, they were storming the field. We had just lost on Thursday night. I think we were top 5. So tensions were a little bit high on our team. And you just got these little white kids sprinting at us and like yelling in our face and stuff like that. And there were some guys who are on that team who have since been incarcerated, I do believe, for potential physical action. I'm surprised nobody's ever gotten really fucked up in one of those. I'm very surprised by it.
I thought it was the other team, like LeGarrette Blount, like one of those situations where he's, cold.
That's not how you pronounce his name. It is how you spell it, though. So I respect you respecting the way he spells his last name.
You never know.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Let's go to Scott up here in Canada. What town are you from in Canada?
I'm from Cobourg, Ontario. It's just a bit east of Toronto.
Oh, nice. Over there, Toronto.
Beautiful country up there.
Yeah, it is. Is it near?
It's close to Saskatoon, but I'm not exactly sure how many kilometers.
Scott, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, last week you were talking about Matt Ryan possibly going to the 49ers. That would leave Garoppolo out of a job. Do you think he could go back to Belichick in New England and create a dynasty there again?
Great question, Scott. That sounded like a fake, right? That sounded like a fake Canadian accent there, almost too Canadian gump.
Yeah, you threw that in there.
Yeah, because he said whenever you just say you're from an entire country, and then, I guess he said a town that none of us have ever heard of, but could be 100% right. That felt like that was almost a fake Canadian accent there.
Very much so, my friend.
What do? We caught a New Jersey and calling us from Montana the other day. Hey, we are in tune with the voices. It's something I'm very intrigued by the way, because I've always been from Pittsburgh, and people always try to bury the Pittsburgh accents. When I hear accents, I love them and thank them. That felt like that was a forced Canadian accent there.
He rounded it out. He went, a boot.
Oh,
if
so
you're going to do it, it's a boot.
Oh, so you think that's an American mocking Canada there?
Just an all-around troll, it feels like.
Oh, that son of a bitch!
But keep in mind, Gumpy also hates Toronto, has a huge vendetta against that area.
And Canada in general.
True.
We're the only show that has a Canadian representative who hates Canada.
True.
I'm not 100% sure that happens anywhere else.
No. Probably not.
What a show.
Hell yeah.
Hey, what a show.
Gumpy started out as a caller, by the way, from Canada on our serious show.
Maybe.
He thought his name was Dump, and then it was just electric. He was just absolutely electric. Gave us a bunch of soccer bets that we started hitting on. Gave us a bunch of stories about him painting ships up there in the cold-ass weather. Gumpy, happy to have you here, bub.
Happy to be here. What a run.
But Gumpy, you've had 2 very different lives. Okay, listen to what Gumpy's lives will be whenever he dies.
Yeah.
Okay, he was a ship painter in the bows of ships, painting them in cold-ass Canada. And then he moves to America, and he is an internet personality. Just 2 very, very different lives at that particular point.
I just can't figure out with painting ships for 15 years why I can't get a visa doing sports media.
Whoa.
Jesus.
We do not need to alarm the authorities.
Keep it down.
Gumpy is potentially in here illegally.
Maybe.
No.
We don't know.
We do know. Yeah.
No.
We don't.
Nuh-uh.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's.
Well, what's legal and what's illegal?
Getting closer by the day.
Yeah, I think he has a certain time. He's not illegal yet, but boy, we are getting close, I think.
Close to overstaying your welcome, eh, pal?
Hey, pal. Hey, United States government might say, hey, pal, you pay taxes here? Get the fuck on, pal.
Get out, vato.
I think that... Gumpy, we're going to get that figured out, I heard.
Very hopeful, my friend.
We contacted an attorney, a lawyer.
Nice.
First email we get from said attorney or lawyer is, we need $10,000 to even start looking into this. It's like, Jesus Christ, you're just absolutely raking.
Pat, all he needs is validation from a real Canadian hero.
Is that Bret Hart saying it's okay for Gumpy to come into America there?
The Hitman will sponsor him to become a permanent resident in this dump that isn't Canada.
This dump that isn't Canada. Thanks, Hitman. You're the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Speaking of that, Aaron Rodgers joins us in 10 minutes.
Yes! Let's go.
You have a 6-minute break here on SiriusXM and Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Don't take a shit. We'll see you on the other side with Aaron. You said in the interview that you would add an extra finger to your scotch drink or whatever. A finger is just what? Just one finger this way or this way?
Yeah, like this, bro.
So did you do 4 on Sunday? You did a full fucking glass?
It was a long night. We didn't get home. I didn't get home till like 11:40.
Look at how much scotch that is. Is that what you did?
It's not that much.
That's 4 fingers, dude. You said you normally do 3. That's 4 right there.
But you have those fat sausages. It hasn't been cordial over the years between me and Sue. You know, we've had some battles over the years. I think I mentioned that he got frozen feet and didn't realize he was stepping on my calf. He also stomped on one of my teammates at one point. I was under the impression that we were going to have a conversation after the game. And there might have been some loss in translation, whether or not he was talking about the, see you at the bus conversation. I thought it seemed more like, hey, let's have a little, come to Jesus moment. I was looking for that conversation. I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't think it was going to, look, I'm not going to play number 2.
Do you think it was the 3 pumps that potentially got you into deep shit with the football gods, Aaron?
You, of all people, a man who was celebrated as much as anybody at your position, you must realize, whether necessary or unnecessary, the celebrations have no correlation in that sense.
You needed a kick in the ass. Do you just think everybody was getting kind of too comfortable and had the bye week and had a chance to soak it in? Hey, we're very, very good. Is that what you meant by that?
I mean, I think we all need that a little bit. When the complacency starts to sink in and you start kind of feeling yourself a little bit, it's always good to kind of get knocked down. And I think it can be a good thing. I'm not saying, look, nobody wants to lose to fucking figure things out. Great teams have consistent habits. And so we got to keep doing the things that got us to 4-0 in order to get back to where we want to be.
Here, huh?
Yeah.
Here. Attaboy, Aaron!
I know you were an extra in Game of Thrones. I wanted to get your opinion on how you think the show ended.
So I think many of us were disappointed and confused by the ending.
Which one were you? Do you know which one you were yet?
The guy running duck-footed heel first with his arms splaying all about.
Yeah, no cakes. Weak jaw turned into the alley. Was that you?
I think that guy's related to AJ somehow.
I'd also potentially taken over their 30 edibles because I thought more teammates of mine were going to want to indulge in that either before the game or after the game. And to get to London, you go through your own TSA here. The team has TSA that you have to check in. Here's my passport. The Colts already have it. They took it all from everybody. It's literally you get your bags checked and then you're through. Put them in a little thing. We're good to go. It's team's TSA. Get on the bus, fly over there. I forgot all about them. Didn't utilize them at all because how things quickly changed.
Right.
After we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're on a team bus. They go, hey, we're going through Heathrow Airport through the real-life TSA. And at that moment, I look around. I go, oh, no. I have some things in my bag right now that have vitamins in them. I have to get rid of them. And at that point, I'd whittled it down to like 15 of them. And I look at Vinatieri, and I'm like, buddy, not good. He's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I guess I'm just going to throw them away in here. Couldn't do that because right next to the trash can was an English police officer. So I couldn't just walk up and dump a bunch of edibles into the thing next to the guy. He's going to ask questions. We're going to the Heathrow Airport. Now I got to do what I got to do. We finally get there. Police escorts, a lot going on. So I just take down 13 edibles.
Yikes.
See you later. Vinatieri looks at me and goes, how you doing, bub? I was like, good now, but things are about to happen. He goes, I got you, little buddy. I'm like, thank you. So we go through the little check-in thing. And right before we get to the scan of the bags thing, it all hits me. I might as well have been on Cloud 45 over there in London. They check my bag, boom, boom, boom. I get selected. Something was in my bag. So now all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, did I leave a couple in there? Oh my God. Vinatieri starts walking ahead. He turns around, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, they got my bag, man. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I have no idea. So he comes and stands with me. He's like, I got you, bub. I was like, they might got me, for real. I might be staying the night in England. They go through my bag. Turns out, had a vibrating toothbrush. Thing was vibrating in my bag.
Yep.
They're like, oh, it must have been this. Or it must have been my big-ass toothpaste, because you can't fly with that.
I was like, you got it, pal. I get all the way back to the plane. Lost my ticket somewhere. Somehow I don't have a ticket. So now I got to check into the gate people that I don't have a ticket. I'm like, I'm on this plane. I promise I am, but I don't have a ticket. They're like, what's your name? I'm like, Patrick McAfee. The McAfee? No, yeah, whatever you want to call me. I just need a ticket. So now I have to sit there and wait as somebody brings me a ticket from the front while my entire team walks by me, knowing that I'm on cloud 50, just having a good time. Grigson walks by, just upset, obviously. I wish he would have known that I was in a mood where he should have talked to me there. It was just a nightmare. The London trip for me from beginning to end was not good, and I think that happens for a lot of NFL players.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. First hour, we talked to Rob Ninkovich about life and everything going on in it. He told us a story about Aaron Rodgers that was absolutely spectacular. He said he was tasked with spying Aaron Rodgers. In one particular time, Aaron Rodgers hit him with a little do-si-do, little two-step cut around the edge. Ninkovich ended up on the ground and basically looked embarrassed. And a couple plays later, Aaron gave him a little wink and a smile and basically told him that his day was done. The Packers beat the Patriots that day and continue to move forward. Last hour, we talked to Tom Allen, head coach of the Indiana University Hoosiers football team, which is currently undefeated. It was a great conversation about him, about how he runs his program, how he took a football program that was obsolete, that was just a part of a school that had a basketball program and turned them into a damn good football program, and how he celebrates and once celebrated a linebacker making a play in practice so much that he blew out his 2 front teeth, so much so that he was out for 8 months basically with a speaking problem because he had to get a root canal because the tooth got cut in half and went down to his nerves.
Football
guy through and through. Incredible conversation with him. Joining us now is a man who has a national championship as a college football player at Ohio State and a Super Bowl champion with Green Bay Packers, Mr. A.J. Hawk, and also a man who is currently thrown for
24 touchdowns
and
2 interceptions
in the 2020 NFL season. A man who is, by all accounts, the greatest quarterback of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Man, that's great.
That never gets old, buddy.
I'm happy we can do that for you. You know, a Tuesday afternoon, kind of a little bit of a lift up, like, hey, bub, how you doing? Great to talk to you. Did you know that stat about how many?
24 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
24-2 this year so far. Not a bad year you're having, pal. Maybe, what do we do this weekend after the Thursday night game? Did you watch games this weekend? Did you treat it as a bye week? Did you go camping on your property? What did you do this weekend?
A lot of camping on the property, for sure.
Smart.
Yeah, just zoned out. Just thought a lot about Sting and the music that he makes. How inspiring it is.
Did you watch any games? Like on Sunday, did you have an NFL day like I have where you just kind of watch all the games, or did you kind of come and go?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Red Zone Channel, and I watched a little bit of the game on Sunday night.
Hey.
That's about it.
Hey, that Sunday night game was riveting, too. Did you dive into that one? Did you see the game 38-3, I believe, the Saints took down the Bucs?
Yeah, I saw the final score. It wasn't that entertaining. I know what that feels like a few weeks ago.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Because you were dead a couple weeks ago after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that defense figured out your team. Now you guys are back on the high. After Thursday night, you just had 6 incompletions and had this massive night, 4 touchdowns. How is it? Is it hard to balance a season out of success and failures? Like, for instance, Tom right now, everybody's saying Tampa Bay Buccaneers are dead. They're done for. They've been figured out. Like, how does that change your mindset after having a great game or a terrible game? Or are they the exact same reaction out of you because it's kind of like you have to?
I mean, I don't know, Pat. I mean, I don't think there's not a major freak out. I know you like to do your overreaction Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does. There's this, the knee-jerk reactions to everything that happened. If you win, it's either how great you are or, like last year we were winning ugly. Everybody kept saying, well, they're winning, but it's just really ugly. It's like, I think there's a loss of the understanding of how difficult it is to win in this league. And then there's I think a lack of understanding of how difficult it is to be consistent. There's just so many outside factors and teams that play differently and adjustments that go on, and dealing with success and dealing with frustration and dealing with outside distractions that can affect you week to week. Not to mention injury reports and COVID tests and everything else that we're dealing with week to week. There's a lot of other circumstances that affect performance or can affect performance week to week, and I think that's the beauty in finding consistency in those teams that do. You understand and appreciate how difficult that is. We beat the Saints early in the season. I believe it was week 3, and they haven't lost since then. They've won 5 in a row. So obviously they figured some things out after that, and they've gotten to a great rhythm and got Michael Thomas back, who's a really talented player. But they've obviously gotten into that groove, and you realize how difficult that is, and I think you have a big respect for teams that can put together win streaks 4, 5, 6, 8. For your boys in Pittsburgh, it's really impressive.
Hey, they're those guys, boys, not mine. I'm on your team, pal.
Oh yeah. Hey, Aaron, do you think having the whole COVID protocols and you guys not being able to go out and about and go on the town, like what usually happens during the week? Friday night's big, I know. After the game, guys want to hang out. Is it? Have guys been able to dial in and not have all those distractions?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good question, AJ. I think it's a little bit of both. I think there is a lack of distraction on the one hand, but I think it does change the way you get to interact. I mean, there's always over the years been fun to get-togethers outside the facility, whether it's Halloween stuff or Thanksgiving or Christmas parties or just the Monday night dinners or going out to dinner, offensive line dinners or defensive dinners or position group dinners. There's been some really fun hangouts over the years that become just a standard week to week that you really enjoy. And I think we miss that chemistry. And a lot of people don't give any credence and don't give a shit about chemistry. But I think it's really important. Being able to trust the guys that you're playing with and count on those guys and also get to know them and understand what makes them tick and how you can hold them accountable and how you can talk to them when it's going good, to keep them level-headed and talk to them when it's there's some adversity and you're struggling. I think it's really important to being a good teammate, to being a good leader. Not having that opportunity, I think, is tough for everybody because I don't know that you're seeing as close units as you might in a normal season. And I know last year that was really important for us, especially as our defense and special teams, as Pat loved to point out last year,
Bingo.
Carried us at times. We really loved each other. We hung out together. We spent time off the field together. And we're missing that. I really do. I really feel like we're missing those fun opportunities. That's what makes the season, as much as we're 6-2 and first in the North, it hasn't quite had the same type of fun as an entire season because you miss those fun team moments.
First in the North, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I've always said, the teams that I was on that were good, it seemed like the team liked each other. Right? It seemed like the team liked each other. In the teams that I was on that weren't as good, it seemed like the teams didn't like each other enough. And the camaraderie is a pretty big deal. Now, granted, because you're losing, does that mean everybody hates each other? You can kind of go hand in hand there. But how have you been able to build up chemistry with people you didn't know going into the season? Was that the Zoom call? Because I heard in the locker rooms you guys aren't even allowed to sit next to each other, right? You're not even allowed to, and then you're not allowed to eat together, right? These are critical times in building up trust with each other. Has there been any efforts to try to be creative with that, or is it just kind of you got to do what you got to do on the practice field and everything like that?
Well, Pat, you can't really be creative when they're big brother spying on you the whole time.
Oh, hey, did you hear about the Jets? You hear about the Jets?
Yeah.
We can dive into that later. I mean, that's.
They're watching everything, and if there's a lapse in protocol, you can get fined. Obviously, you've seen teams get fined already, and individual coaches and players get fined for breaking protocol. I mean, there's one-person tables in the lunchroom. There's plexiglass or whatever the hell it is between our lockers. We have like offense, defense in the locker room. So I'm not sitting next to, Tim Boyle and getting to shoot the shit with him after a meeting or before or after practice. I mean, I can barely even talk to Warren, who's my locker mate, because there's a partition between us. I have to like lean out over it, and half the time you can't hear what I'm saying, I think. So it definitely puts a strain on that locker room conversation and camaraderie. I think obviously the proponents of all that say it's necessary to get us to the finish line and to the season. I think there's a lot of questions about is this are we doing all this based on science and it's all necessary? And, I mean, there's some interesting conversations to be had down the line about all that. Obviously, we've had a couple positive tests in the last few weeks. That puts you in this protocol to where, now we're wearing masks down at in the weight room, down to practice, have the little shield stuff.
Hold on, can I ask you why you just mentioned that? Because you're not talking about the real world. You're talking about in sports, I think. A.J. Dillon had it for the entire game, played an entire game with it, and nobody else had a positive. Now we're hearing that other people played with it. Vance McDonald, who's sitting next to Ben on the plane and in the locker room, Ben's had a negative test. So I would assume that in the locker room, not just yourself, there's a lot of people going like, okay, so these people literally played an entire day. We didn't have the plexiglass there. Are we doing maybe, let's be safe, but maybe we're overdoing it a bit, and can we adjust that at the time? Because it feels like it's going the opposite direction. It's getting like stricter and stricter as it goes, when it feels like there's an opportunity to potentially lighten that up a little bit inside the confines of the little mobile bubble you guys have.
No, I'm not saying that, Pat. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not saying it would lighten anything up. I'm just wondering what is this based on, because I just think there's some double standards. You can dap up a guy after the game, but you can't eat at the same lunch table as a teammate. You can go down to practice and hit each other and be in close contact, but you have to have plexiglass between you and the guy next to you in the locker room. I just think some of those things, to me, just don't really add up. Like, I understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to get every game in and stay healthy, but I think just some of those things, and I don't really care about what people's opinions are beside. This is my own opinion about things. I just think that some things make sense, and then some things don't make a whole lot of sense. They said before the season, you can't even talk to anybody after the game, and I'm thinking, well, what do you mean? We just there's spit and sweat and all this stuff, and we're playing a game and we're getting hit and we're tackling, and then we can't go and talk to somebody who we know on the other team. I just, some of those things, to me, I think it's some of it is definitely for the optics of it. Some of it is probably based on science. But it's definitely changed the season for sure.
Hey, how has it changed your? I don't know if you've given much thought to. So Pat's mentioned on the show multiple times, you have a beautiful place out in Malibu.
Oh, it's nice. I saw it. Hey, I took a tour of that thing, a virtual tour. It was like I was in there, Aaron. That place is. I love what you're going to do with that kitchen area right there. It is going to be nice, because I was trying to think like if I ever got this. So it's a beautiful place. Sorry, AJ, go ahead.
Well, no, it's good, Pat. It's what's it called? What's a vacuum? What's it called, Aaron? Your elevator to the beach?
Oh my! I didn't even see that.
Y'all keep talking about it. I'm not going to invite Ty out.
No! Don't you do that! Why would you do it?
Tread lightly, gentlemen.
Okay. All right, we'll back off. Sorry about that.
So
he's got an elevator to the fucking beach. Holy! Sorry, dude. Good for you. You've worked hard. You deserve it. You deserve it. Ty,
it's not a vacuum, by the way, but. How do you handle post game? Like I'm watching the Bucs Saints game, and I'm thinking the whole time, like, okay, Drew and Tom Brady find each other, and they're kind of hugging, kind of whispering in each other's ear, and the whole time I'm like, oh, is the TV going to cut away? Are these guys going to get in trouble? Like, what do we do here? Like, do you have a plan after games?
Most of the time, I don't think about it. I really don't. I just think about going and seeing the quarterback of their team and anybody I might know on that squad. look, we're at the mercy of this, and a lot of it's out of our control. Now, I think what is in our control is, where we're eating and our habits and our building our immune system and stuff. But if somebody has it and sits next to you, or you're going against them and you get it, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to deal with symptoms or no symptoms. You're going to quarantine for however long, and then you're going to be back and fine. Like, that's what we've seen from our teammates and guys across the league. So I don't really think a whole lot about it. I just try and take care of my immune system the best I can, and I enjoy seeing those guys in other teams. So
do you have any?
Shy away from seeing those people.
Do you have any immunity pills? TB12's got some. I didn't know if you had any. Yeah, you should think about maybe getting in that business. I'm not sure, but whenever you talk to Tom, okay, and LeBron is maybe the best at this in the world. Anytime he has a conversation, his hand is over it because people are trying to dissect every word that he says. When you go talk to a quarterback after a game like that, I mean, I assume immediately upon arriving in the NFL, you knew that cameras are going to be on that. But when you guys are talking, is there a single genuine conversation that happens in there, or is that all bullshit? Like, is there any actual like good to see? Like, what is it all? What is that conversation like?
That's a great question, Pat, and most people probably don't know the real answer. I think it depends on who it is. Okay. I think there's some guys who don't care, and you can have a legit conversation with them. I think some guys where you don't want to say stuff because you're mic'd up. Sometimes you just don't really care. Like if I see, like Ryan Fitzpatrick on the field, who I enjoy and respect, and he's a 05 draft class guy. I've known him for a long time. I think he's an awesome dude. If I saw him, I probably wouldn't care what was said, and just say whatever. If you see other guys, that the mics are probably going to beat you to the spot. So you might not, say exactly what you would say in a normal situation. There's other guys that you've known for a while and you just don't really care, or maybe they don't care. But that if you're running out there to see Tom or Drew or one of those long-term guys, like unless you kind of jog to the middle, it's probably going to be 4 cameras and a couple booms. So I don't think it's the most heartfelt conversation. It's pretty standard, good job, stay healthy, whatever. That's why I enjoy kind of the, either getting out there early or kind of waiting till it dies down and being able to have like a real human conversation with guys that you respect or know on the other team.
Why the cameras though? Because you guys are the greatest of all time.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's got to be pretty cool to know that. Like, yeah. When I have conversations with other goats, motherfucking cameras trying to get me, dog. That's got to feel pretty good. Good for you.
Hey, what about the guys you don't like though, Aaron? Has there ever been a game that you've played where you didn't go out and greet the quarterback? I'm not telling you to name names.
Oh, or do.
I would assume you've always found a way, even if you despise the guy with all your heart.
Yeah, I can't think of a game that I haven't had a conversation with the opposing quarterback, and that's every game from the 2009-10 against Favre, when obviously things were a little contentious at that time, to that means just probably every start. I think it's part of the respect level of playing the same position, knowing what you put on the line, and knowing how much preparation it takes, and also class. I think you win with class and you lose with class, and also knowing the camera's on you. So like, I don't know. I think it's part of part of the competitive process is doing it with some dignity.
So Tom didn't go out there and dap up Foles, so that's like conversation. So the fact that you said there at the end, like. And also, there's a camera on you. Like, that is a very interesting thing. Have you, I want to talk to you about something that AJ brought up the other day again, and I completely forgot about whenever I first heard this, and it's insane to think about. You guys go into work, okay? You go into work. You do your thing. You watch the film, you study, you do the whole thing. You go in the locker room. This is a Wednesday, Thursday. You put on your shoulder pads, you put on your pants, you get your helmet, okay, you put the eye black on, whatever you need to do, maybe a little war paint, go get the icy hot on the limbs. You do the whole thing. Then you strap up your boots. You get if you get spatted, you get the ankles taped. You do the whole thing. Then you guys get in a car. You drive down the street. You go to practice, and then you hop in a car after practice and drive back home. Is that real? That happens every single day?
Every single day.
Anything awesome ever? Any batteries die? Anybody need to get jumped? Did you ever? Did the cleats ever mess? Like any stories of the transferring? Like maybe a new player comes in, locks keys in car somehow, maybe stuck. Like, is there any situations that have popped up? Because I see this as being a potential logistical nightmare with some humans.
I agree, and I think the greatest accomplishment that we've had in 16 years is nobody has truly gotten hurt on that drive down.
That's good.
To practice. It's, I'm sure there's many distractions in the car. There's people walking often, especially, at times during training camp after we kind of don't do the bikes anymore. I just think there's big pillars. I think one of our coaches at some point hit one of those. AJ probably can confirm or deny that, but
yep, he said.
It's pretty amazing that, going down to that little parking lot too by the Don Hudson Center and by Hinkle and Nitschke, our two fields, the fact that we've never really had an incident is amazing. Now, there's been times where guys double park guys and you drive that guy's car back to the stadium just to tell him to not double park again anymore.
Yeah, got to do it.
Or stuff like that's happened, but I don't think we've had any accidents or guys getting bumped in 16 years, and that is an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, I agree. We shipped a car to Montana one time. Just something to think about if it ever pops up. Good ad. Good ad. What do you got, AJ? Sorry about that.
Also, you mentioned Sting earlier. I don't know if you know, Sting's real into this tantric sex thing with his wife for like 10, 15 hours at a time. I don't know. Maybe that's why you're listening to his stuff. But it got me thinking.
What?
Other than
15 hours at a time?
Come on. What?
15 hours at a time?
Let him talk, bro. Let him talk.
That's Sting's thing, though. Like, you didn't know that, Pat? Like, Sting, I know he's obviously has a beautiful voice, great singer. But yeah, Aaron, I'm sure knows that. Didn't he? Isn't that his thing?
Great hair, great singer, and he's in the tantra.
Whatever that means. But what I was saying, Aaron, so other than like Ryan Phillippe, I know when you saw him first in person, you tried to go and tell him how big of a fan you were. He gave you the cold shoulder. Is there anyone other than him that has really done that to you?
You got punked by Ryan Phillippe? That's tough.
When was that, AJ? You're just making
I think you were really hammered or something. It was sad. We tried not to remind you.
Well, I must have been because I don't remember that. There's been, in all the years of like some of the famous people and athletes I've met, there's been some weird interactions, but I think the only time I ever really got big time was in Tahoe by a tennis player. And I was on the putting green. I was obviously in the tournament, so I wasn't some scrub kind of walking around. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't a scrub at the time, being a backup and all that. But
you get it, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of got me and my caddy, who were fans of this American tennis player. He basically said, get the hell away from me.
Fucking McEnroe, dude.
God damn.
That dude is a maniac. He's just punking Aaron Rodgers and his caddy. Get out of here. Gotta sing some putts, little punk. What do you got, long hair? This ain't a Creed concert, pal. That's unbelievable that McEnroe did that to you.
Definitely wasn't McEnroe.
Serena Williams just punked Aaron Rodgers.
Who would have thought? Was it Marty Fish? Was it?
No, there's no way it was that guy. Was it Marty?
Marty's a buddy of mine. Other than being a hardcore Vikings fan, I really enjoy Marty.
Whenever you get up to that upper echelon of life, and you're just up there, and like any human on earth is basically one call away, do you just try not to ruin that at all times? Like, I would assume that would be a problem for me. I'd be like, I can get a hold of who right now? Maybe we send a hello. How's it going? Like, is that... And who has shown up in your phone maybe that you did not expect, like a text message asking you for something? It was just like, holy hell, I cannot believe this is my life.
Well, I'm still waiting on Scott Stapp, so that would be a big time one. I'll just say that the other day, I got a message on, I think it was Instagram. I was following this person, so they were able to, direct message me. But I got a private message from Ric Flair.
Wow.
Obviously, it wasn't in my phone, but to get a message from Ric Flair was amazing. And I'll tell a quick story, just because he tried to tell a story on me a week ago. A longtime backup of mine, not like 3 years, Graham Harrell, former Texas Tech Red Raider, now the USC offensive coordinator, probably a future Division I head coach.
Congrats, Graham.
Love Graham. Had some really fun moments with him and Matt Flynn. Is one of my greatest quarterback rooms. Those guys are amazing. But Graham was a humongous WWF, WWE fan.
Let's go, Graham.
And he would watch it all. I mean, he would, every Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and everything that he could watch, he would watch. And a longtime fan. So we're in Carolina playing the Panthers. And I'm at dinner with a buddy of mine who from the Coast Guard who's stationed out there. And he's at dinner with Flynn. Randomly, we're just all at the same restaurant. And our old coach, Kevin Green, who, if you know Kevin Green, wild man, former Pittsburgh Steeler, former Carolina Panther, former WCW wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And just a beauty of a human. He's having dinner at the same time with Ric Flair. So they're at one table. Flynn and Graham are at another table, and I'm at a third table. Just randomly, we're all there. Graham starts blowing my phone up. You have to introduce, take me over to the table. Take me to the table. And I'm like, just go over there. Kev, KG, just go walk over there and talk to him, right? And he's like, I can't. I need you got to go with me. He's only texting me, the entire dinner. I'm like, all right. I was like, okay, finishing up here, 5 minutes, we're over the table. So he's like eyeing me, like at the other table. I'm like, what is this guy? Just leave me alone. What's wrong with you? So finally, I'm like, okay, I'll take him over there. So we walk over the table. KG sees us. Hey, brother, what's up? You got to meet my good friend, Ric Flair. And I was like, hey, really nice to meet you. Been a fan. But this guy right here is a huge fan. I introduced Graham. And Graham clammed up like I've never seen anybody clam up.
Oh, can't happen. Can't happen, Graham.
I'm talking about paralyzed. He couldn't get a word out. There's one of those situations where, it's like you try to set your buddy up with a good-looking girl and you introduce him, and you have to do all the talking between them because he just can't get a word out. That's how it was. I'm literally he freezes, can't even shake his hand. And I'm like, Graham's, he's been a huge fan forever. He watches it, and I'm like, and then Graham, nothing. And Rick's he's being very gracious, oh, that's great, it's great to meet you guys, and but and then stops. I'm like, yeah, Graham's, he kind of gets me going. He tells me what's going on every week, and we watch some of your old fights, and it's.
You're just prodding Graham.
I'm literally telling him everything he's feeling. And he can't get a word out.
Oh, man.
But then afterwards, he's like, oh, that was the greatest thing ever. I said, what just happened to you? How did you just go mute?
Hey.
This is the greatest moment of your life, according to you, and you can't even get a word out?
Aaron, on the phone right now, by the way, Ric Flair. Ric Flair. Ric Flair, I don't know if you know this. You made a man named Graham Harrell, who's former NFL quarterback, now the offense coordinator for the USC Trojans out there, absolutely clam up whenever you met him and Aaron Rodgers one night down in Carolina. I don't know if you remember that night, but that's the power of Ric Flair, and thanks for calling in, brother. No.
Not him.
Can he hear us?
Is it Graham Harrell?
That's actually Ric Flair, by the way. We actually have Ric Flair on, allegedly. I mean, it's windy day or wherever the hell he's at. No, dead.
He's there, though.
Can he hear us?
Is Ric Flair...
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hold on. Is Ric Flair clamming up because Aaron Rodgers? This is potentially what's happening there. Your new house in Malibu. No, I'm sorry. You got his big no. You made it. We got to hang up on him. Yeah. Got to hang up on him. I thought we were going to have a legitimize to the story right there, though. I thought we were going to have a legitimize to the story there. Has that ever happened to you? No? Just... Was it Andy Roddick, by the way?
I think we're moving on, I think.
Yeah! Bullseye! Boom!
By the way, my list of tennis players is only so long. I went through it. Shout out to the YouTube comment section coming through in the big there.
I will say it was not Andy Roddick either.
Fuck. I just wasted all the question. I was going to ask you, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend. Good luck, by the way. Start stacking these wins up. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But I was really intrigued by this. So if you play a sport for a long time, very long time, and you become very wealthy and very successful, the continuing of playing the game has to be a love of the sport, right? I think we all agree that if you play, you have to have some sort of love of the game, right? You can't just be I'm here for the money guy, because once you get a certain amount of money, then you're automatically going to leave. If you continue to play, you have to love the sport. And I wanted to ask you this question because I think you're a very deep thinker. Like, why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions. There's a reliance on coaching. There's a reliance on preparation. There's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why I, at times, have taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Hey, Aaron, isn't that interesting, though, that they always say you can't have a fear of failure? Like, I'm scared to death of failure. It makes me do, like, more things. Like, it makes me work a little harder. I think, like, I hate that old adage, like, you can't be scared of failure. You got to go try it. I'm like, I agree, you got to go try it, but you should have a little healthy fear of failure. You
100% should have a fear of failure and a fear of your job.
Yeah.
I think you should find a way to harness that. And to harness that, in my opinion, and I've said this many times, is a redefinition of what success actually is. Because success is not winning all the time, because that is damn near impossible. Success is knowing that you've done everything in your power, from a preparation standpoint, from a focus standpoint, from a performance standpoint, to achieve a win or success, and that it won't happen every time. It definitely won't happen every time. And I think our society sometimes glorifies that winning is the only thing. I mean, our one of our longtime coaches said winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. And I don't want to, argue with the great Vince too much, but I think that is an unrealistic view, and often it can cripple people who view the opposite of winning as failure and then will never put themselves in that arena again and be willing to lay it all on the line, knowing that it might not be good enough. And I think that is true success, and that's what every great competitor does. They're willing to put in everything they got, knowing that some days it might not be good enough.
Man. Hey, that was awesome. I want to let you know, thank you for that. I think I just became a better human. I wish I would have heard it before I went into the NFL. Maybe my first couple years wouldn't be as bad. Maybe the end would have been great, but I appreciate you for that. Earlier, we had a call from a man who had a moment down in Charlotte where he was eating dinner with Kevin Green, former WCW superstar, and you and Graham Harrell had to go over there because Graham Harrell was begging you to introduce. You have a conversation with Ric Flair. Graham Harrell doesn't say a single damn word. Ric Flair is on. Rick, do you remember that night? And thanks for joining us, the greatest of all time.
He's on your computer right there. You have to cue him in.
We had him call into the...
We had to call him, yeah. Our phone line was acting up.
Oh, jeez. Rick, are you there, pal?
Yeah, are you talking about me or Aaron?
You. Did Grant... Sorry, we had to figure this out tech-wise. Thank you for making this happen. Do you remember this night? Do you remember this night down in Charlotte?
Of course, I was with Kevin Green, and I asked Kevin, I said, I got to meet Aaron Rodgers, the man.
So he wanted to meet you, actually, Aaron. I don't know if you know that. Rick, what are you doing right now? Are you traveling right now?
I've just taken my steps on order to buy a new, what'd you buy, a Tesla?
Hey, we appreciate...
I'm taking it to pick up the car I bought. I wasn't sure what it was.
I didn't hear what it was, but goddamn, that was Ric Flair. Hey, that was awesome. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday with Ric Flair. Not a bad day. Hey, so he was telling Kevin Green the entire time. He was texting Kevin Green underneath, like, you have to go introduce me to Aaron Rodgers. That just feel pretty cool. I'll never experience that. Good for you, man. It's pretty awesome. Wow. Yeah. Awesome. It's pretty awesome.
And I think you might remember this. AJ would remember this. I believe it was in Carolina age. You got to help me with this. But I feel like there was a huge intro in Carolina on the Jumbotron with Rick just going, woo, 20 times.
Yeah. I think he did that for the Tennessee Titans. He did that for the Carolina Panthers. I think he did it for another team too throughout my career.
But it wasn't just loyalty to Carolina Panthers.
Well, when he did the Carolina one, I think he did like this is home, like an entire thing. But when I saw him at the Titans one, it was very similar, and I was like, wait a minute, Nashville, Charlotte. Before we let you go, and you're always so gracious with your time. You were a part of a massive NFL Films video that was tribute to Alex Trebek, the greatest game show host in the history of game show hosts, passed away suddenly Sunday morning. Any thoughts on your chance getting to hang out with him, meet him, and obviously his passing?
Yeah, I was super bummed out to hear about it. Anyone who knows me well knows that 6 p.m. on weekdays is about watching Jeopardy. That's the time it's on in Green Bay. As opposed to other places, it's on before Wheel of Fortune. And if I'm not watching it, it's taped. And that's just kind of been a standard. I have a lot of nostalgia. It's one of those nostalgic voices of my childhood. And I was telling a coach the other day, it's Pat Summeralls and John Maddens and Frank, Al, and Dan from Monday Night Football, Bob Barker, and Alex Trebek. Those are some of the voices of my childhood, and I've attached so many memories over the years to those moments, whether it's watching, the Fox game of the week with Pat and John, and then getting to meet John years later in a production meeting was amazing, and Frank, Al, and Dan, Monday Night Football. I mean, that's just, it's a part of, it's so ingrained in Americana and my story as a young person and my love affair with sports. And being sick from school, but being able to watch The Price is Right at 10 o'clock in the morning, and Bob Barker.
Oh, yeah.
And, there's just special moments. And Alex Trebek, being on a week, as we do in the summer, at my grandparents' house, and every weeknight we watch Jeopardy. And that was when I got my start, and continue to watch it, throughout high school and college, and then had a random opportunity to go on Celebrity Jeopardy in 2015 and jumped at it. No doubt about it. I want to do it. And getting to meet him, it was one of the few moments in life I've been starstruck, just because I have so many nostalgic attachments to him. And he's had a meaningful part in my life because it was a connection point for me and family members, just a fun trivia thing to do all the time growing up. And then just kind of a daily routine for me at living in Green Bay as a young person, and having a lot of time to myself, especially in the off seasons, being out here. So really sad to see that. Really thankful I got to meet him. Thankful I got to be on the show. Winning the show was a secondary gift to getting a chance to meet him, and he was as enjoyable and kind and present as you would have hoped and dreamed. Really sad to hear about the diagnosis, knowing what pancreatic cancer the survival rates are, but was really hopeful and sending my best prayers and energy his way. And again, just sad, as so many people are, because I think for us in America, he's been, and like Pat Sajak and Vanna White and Bob Barker and some of these hosts, just a really special part of our daily lives. Like, you felt like you knew him because he'd come into your living room or kitchen or dining room table every day. And sad to see his passing.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said there. I think we all echo that sentiment, not being able to go on there. But you spend more time with Trebek than almost anybody on earth whenever you watch it every single night. I'm also a Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy watcher. So every night in Indy, it's Sajak and Vanna, then goes into Trebek to close out the hour. But I spend every single day with them there for a long time. It's like, oh, these people are just part of my crew, which I think a lot of people view our show, which is an honor, but Trebek was the man. And when you got on that show, you dusted folks. I mean, it was an ass beating on there. It was fun to watch because normally, by the way, sports people, we're the dumb ones. So having you go out there and dominate was a thing of beauty.
They got to release the footage of the practice game we did before that at some point.
What'd you do? You did even better.
That was a serious ass whooping. And let me just end with this story, and then I got to go. But we got to the set, and it was me and Mark Kelly, astronaut, now senator, and Mr. Wonderful. And I've never told this story before, also, which is fun to tell you on your show.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
In the back of the green room, there wasn't a lot of trash talk, except for Mr. Wonderful. Not necessarily him, but his wife. His wife was talking about how he had the advantage on the show because he's on TV all the time.
Oh, wow.
That was her justification.
Wow.
So we go out to the practice game, and I mean, I smoked him.
See ya, pal.
Yeah. Mr. Wonderful was in the minus, just like he was in the regular game.
Oh, no deal, pal.
Hadn't met Trebek or anything yet. And they'd ask, like, are you a fan of the show? I said, yeah, I watch it a lot. So I knew the rules and the timing and everything. And Mark had a pretty good game, but I was well ahead.
Yeah.
And so we came back in the green room in the in-between. So now we finished the practice game. And now we're, going to take a little break. They're resetting. And then Alex is going to come out for the real game. He comes in before he even comes into the room. When I walked back in the room, it was real quiet. Real quiet. Everybody who was feeling a little confident maybe before that got a little bit quiet. That was a fun day, though.
How's that feel? There it is, by the way. That is a real fist there. Mr. Wonderful, I had no idea. You did have a great outfit on, obviously.
I got to quit. Yeah. Pat, can I ask that? Are you being ironic? I hope you're being ironic there with the outfit, right? Like, that's not. Are you serious? Or
That was. I was coming out of some dietary choices I had made. I definitely, my face was a lot fuller.
Oh yeah, I know.
It was. Some would say, a friend of mine, Tim, would say that was kind of my fat stage.
Oh, smart though.
But he's a big body shamer with me. He saw me at my fattest. After I broke my foot, I weighed like 245 in the off season.
Oh yeah, that's
probably more than AJ played most of his years. But yeah, that really actually spurred me on to make some better healthy choices after seeing myself.
Oh, that's a bad photo there, Evan. That's very rude of Evan to put that photo up. Hey, we appreciate you, man. What do you got today? Anything?
I got a big day, man. Just some preparation. It's raining outside, so I'll be indoors probably the rest of the day.
50 degrees and rain this weekend. Good luck, pal, dealing with the elements.
Thank you, buddy.
No problem. Going for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeopardy champion, Aaron Rodgers. All right, we got to get to a break there. That was awesome. We talked about a lot there. Ric Flair. Ric Flair called in twice. We really did have him first. I don't know what happened. Probably something in his sound and my sound. His connection wasn't that great. Then he popped in whenever Aaron's giving a great answer there. You know who Pat McAfee is. I was like, oh my God. Get that out of there. We're getting a really good answer here. He went into like what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
It was a good answer.
Listen to that every morning.
Yeah, I think you should. People on the internet try to build cults around speeches like that.
That's right. That's exactly right.
47 minutes into the hour, we're back on the other side. AJ, did you get your haircut? You look good.
Wow.
Today's a good day for the AJ Hawk look.
Yeah, I got a trim today, but Aaron still didn't answer me on the sweater and the whole outfit.
He didn't. True. We'll talk about it on the other side. It's Pat McAfee Show, Channel 82, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. It's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do. That's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The blue kickers are getting way down here. Hey, a lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, Russia. I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to the show. The song's called Ohio River by Year of Buffalo. They surpassed 100,000 streams, by the way, yesterday.
Nice. Let's go.
Pretty good. It's a banger, dude. It's an absolute banger. Joining us now from Ohio. Didn't get a chance to talk to him much in the last hour or 50 minutes or so because our conversation with Aaron ran so long. AJ Hawk, any thoughts on the last night's game between Patriots, Jets, or anything else happening in the world?
Honestly, I enjoyed watching the game. Like, it was fun. I thought it was fun to see Cam come through in the end. He had that big completion, and then boom, Folk just drained. My favorite part was Folk. It was almost like as soon as he kicked it, arms in the air, he knew he drained it. Like, is it that quick usually?
Yeah, coming right off the foot. Normally, like a golfer will feel it. There's a couple times, though, where you'll see some people, they'll start to, like, lean with it, rock with it, because they knew that they mishit it just a little bit, but you might be able to steal a make out of it, you know? And then there's other times where you just hit it completely flush. There's a lot of drills that people do that they have you kick it and then keep your head down and say where you think it went. Boy, I wasn't a big drills guy. That particular drill really fucked with me. That one really, I mean, it was, that one's right down the middle, right? A little left. Oh, shit. And that's probably why I wasn't a kicker in the NFL. But that drill, I didn't do any drills. But there's guys, as soon as, if that's their thing, they know immediately. Has to feel good, too, by the way, for folk. Used to play for the Jets. Bury a 51-yarder to get a win in MetLife Stadium, a stadium that you've kicked game winners for the other team. And to basically solidify yourself as the man who's going to be kicking for the Patriots here probably for the rest of the season. And maybe get them back on the winning. They almost lost 5 straight, the Patriots. That's insane to think about. Like, they potentially almost lost 5 straight last night. And the New York Jets would have been the ones with Joe Flacco stepping on their throats for that. That's wild to think about.
They didn't lose 5 straight, and like we said yesterday, we're 1-0. The season reset. We're on to Baltimore. We get that win, and we're shooing for the playoffs if that happens.
They have expanded to 16, I believe.
They were voting on it today, and it only happens if a week 18 has to happen or a significant game is canceled.
Yeah, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. AJ, you're a big Arby's guy?
Oh, yeah, Arby's is great. I know they're a supporter of the show.
Hashtag Arby's is great.
Yeah.
Remember here, you have 2 days, okay? You have 2 days to enter the hashtag Arby's is great contest. We're giving away this exact meat suit that Zito is currently wearing from Arby's. You'll get this exact one autographed by everybody. We might even get AJ Hawk to sign it somehow, and you could potentially win it. You eat at Arby's in the next 2 days. Post it on Twitter or Instagram. Hashtag Arby's is great. Be proud of that thing. Shout out to Arby's. Shout out to you, AJ. What do you got going on?
I get that exact one. Is that a prize?
Yeah.
What was that supposed to mean, AJ?
Like, do you wash it? Like, does that thing stay at this?
Well, it's going to be signed as well. Be even better.
It's going to be signed.
But, like, you wear that thing, like, every 2 days. Do you take it home? Do you leave it there? I'm sure.
Well, that's none of your business, AJ.
It's like a mascot head.
He sleeps in it.
Yeah.
He sleeps in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's a part of the prize. That's actually like a part of the sell.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I didn't realize, like, you're trying to bring in the female into the crew, so you want some females involved. So that's why you throw Zito out there, a little meat out there for the ladies.
By the way, Zito, show the new you, by the way, with that thing all the way zippered down. Yeah. He had belly button showing earlier.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Big balls on the internet, baby.
Could be yours. Not the man he's taking, but that meat sweatsuit. Hashtag Arby's is great. AJ, 30 seconds before we get off the air here, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Anything to say to the people?
Yeah, I can't wait. Aaron just texted me and said, was that really Ric Flair? I said, absolutely.
It really was, but both times it really was. Mansouri texted him. We had something with the phone line. That would have been awesome. But he says he remembers that night. That's crazy, though, to think of those two like superhumans. They're friends. That's wild. Anyways,
they told me the story right after they got home from dinner. They got back team meeting. They instantly told me the whole thing. It was great.
Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. Mad Dog Unleashed. It'll be better than this. Nailed it.
We killed it.
Nice. We got it.
I knew you could handle it. That's why I took you right to the limit.
I mean, it got very. You have a good night, man. It got very close, dude. It got very. I mean, that was Aaron Rodgers before the play clock runs out. 1 second. He does play with that thing every single week.
Oh yeah.
Very, very close. He got pissed off at LaFleur. What was that, like 3 weeks ago, for calling a timeout right before he was about to snap it?
He's going to throw a touchdown,
And he was like, excuse me. Okay, have a little faith here, dude. And LaFleur was like, you're right. Hey, we had a Zoom call about it. AJ, you want to take some phone calls and then get the hell out of here?
Yeah, do it.
Kenny in Georgia, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, Pat? Shout out to boy. Shout out AJ.
Hey, shout out you, dude. Shout out for shouting out, by the way.
Hey, at Ty, go Pat, go.
Go Pat, go, baby.
Lots of AJ. Here we go.
Hey, my question is, if 1%
he's a
big enough percentage to shut down the world, is a 68% completion percentage by Aaron Rodgers enough to win the MVP?
Great question, Kenny. I believe he mentioned a denominator. I think I heard him kind of dive into that. I heard him potentially go for it. 68% completion percentage is damn impressive. That's like college quarterback-like numbers at this point. Colleges, obviously, the defenses don't know how to cover anybody or do schemes or anything in most places, not everywhere. And with the way college offenses operate, there's so much move and misdirection. Guys are just wide open, okay? That's why I think it's hard for quarterbacks, some quarterbacks to potentially make transition or not, by the way, because if you look at this year's top 3 guys are all unbelievable. But it's hard to do that entire thing. 68% in the NFL is unbelievable. 24 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's an incredible start. But for Aaron, that's just standard, though. Like, that's just standard. That is what it is. And he's being compared against himself at all times, which is a gift and a curse.
Well, I think it's the 68%. Like, every quarterback now in college, a kid can be a below average quarterback in college, and he can complete 70% of his balls because that's how the offense is set up. I mean, the offensive lineman can go down the field 3 yards in college. Those RPOs are a lot harder to read, so there's more space, I guess, to be had. But for Aaron, like, he's not dunking his way to almost 70% completion percentage. Like, this dude's making difficult throws down the field consistently week after week. That's, I think, is the most impressive of all of it.
He's so fucking good, dude.
It really is.
Disgusting. It is disgusting. We get a chance to talk to a guy who's just at a different level than everybody else in a league that's 101 years. Now, I'm not saying there isn't other great quarterbacks. There is, for different reasons, right? Like, Peyton was a cerebral guy, different reason. Tom Brady, you always knew, like, whatever it was, Tom Brady was going to show up or whatever. Now, this year, primetime games are not doing great. I don't think it's Tom's fault, though, but potentially everybody else. But Tom's like his thing. And the thing about Aaron, the conversation is, oh, yeah, that's the most talented quarterback to ever play football. It's like, that has to be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
He could take a football and drop it in a bucket.
Throw it in a keyhole.
Make every throw.
He throws it like it is a dart, though. Have you ever seen, like, I was on vitamins one night, deep into vitamins. And I think it was Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. It was a primetime game. And Aaron, they zoom in on Aaron more than anybody else. And they had this slow-mo shot of him warming up. And it was from, like, here up to, like, his head. And they showed his entire pass, and I like rewatched it like 10 times. That's how I need to throw a football. Okay, so that's how you throw a football. And I like did it like 50 times. I was trying. He like takes that thing, and it literally is just like a flick of the wrist or whatever. I went out and tried to do it. That thing went 6 yards. I mean, it is hard to generate the amount because the way he throws, for instance, there's kickers that are super accurate but don't have a strong leg because the way they choose to kick is like basically a pitching wedge, right? So they're using their leg like this. It's not going to go far, but it'll be very accurate. I can never do that for whatever reason. I wish I did. If you throw a football like that, you're probably going to be very, 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 very accurate, right? Like the way he throws a football, a lot of spin, kind of like a flick of the wrist, like a dart. But the ability to throw that 70 yards like that is the difference. Like that's the specialty difference that nobody else could do. It's insane what he can do. That's why Justin Tucker's so good, by the way. He does that type of kick, but he can kick 60 yards. Like, Aaron is he's next level, dude. He's next level.
How he does it, though, don't you? I haven't seen anyone that looks like him when he does throw, like his quick release. It's his feet. Like, you see, his footwork's always legit, but he can move around the pocket, move around, but then he can create so much torque and throw from like angles and positions that really nobody else on the planet can do.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is doing a lot of them now. And remember, Patrick Mahomes, first person in history of the NFL to do any of those things.
No look pass.
Oh yeah.
I think I don't know why just because Patrick Mahomes is so good and the Chiefs are so good and I expect them to win every week, it's almost like they're an afterthought to me. I'm like, well, yeah, they're going to be in the Super Bowl for the AFC. Let's see who's going to be in the NFC.
Patrick Mahomes is going to fall into the Aaron Rodgers category very quickly. He's going to be judged against Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's not going to be judged against other quarterbacks. It's going to be like if Patrick Mahomes Lamar Jackson's kind of fallen victim to it right now. He's being judged by last year's Lamar Jackson instead of like what other quarterbacks are doing. Patrick Mahomes is going to fall into that category, and Aaron's been living in that for like 10 years at this point, where it's just like, well, Aaron's having a down year. It's like, well, okay. I mean, that's one way to word it. Why don't we word it? Aaron's top 2 in passing right now. Like, there's always ways to phrase it, and it's all because of what you said. The expectation level becomes something, and it's not really worth talking about unless the expectation is either not met or it's over. And it's like, okay, you're just kind of, you don't even think about it. Like, Patrick Mahomes got to be in the MVP conversation at all times. And I would assume he is, but on TV, it's always who's the new person popping into the conversation as opposed to just the expected Patrick Mahomes is going to be there. Russell Wilson, he's a guy getting a big push right now. Obviously, he plays incredible football, but Aaron is going to be judged against Aaron at all times. Patrick Mahomes is going to be judged against Patrick Mahomes the entire time, where other people are judged against other situations. It's very interesting how it all pans out, and that's what success does.
Well, I think it's how you handle success. Dom Capers, he came in as a D coordinator, I believe, my 4th season, and Dom told us right then, he would say every year at the beginning of the season, like, hey, I know I'm not worried about how you guys are going to handle failure or handle losses. Like, I want to see how you handle success. He said, I don't know if you know this, Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback. We're going to win a lot of football games around here. We're going to be in contention a lot. I want to see how you handle success because that's when it gets difficult and guys can try to be individuals and everyone thinks they should be paid. He's like, that's what I want to see. And that's what you're dealing with when you're Aaron. Like, to consistently have that success for that long, and Patrick Mahomes hasn't skipped a beat. I mean, all of it. I guess the longevity and the consistency is what's so, like, everybody is trying to get to, and very, very few can do it.
The new coach coming in and being like, I don't want to hear you guys bitching at all. You got a guy. Okay, so we will figure out. Okay, we'll figure out what formations we're running. Okay, I don't give a damn about any of that. Y'all motherfuckers need to get in shape. I just came from a team that hadn't had a guy for like 25 years. Okay, we got a guy. We are going to do our part here. Okay, that's a real thing. Like when we had Andrew Luck, we get new coaches that would come in and they'd be like, you got a guy. Like I just came, buddy. I just came for buddy. And they say the team name, and they're like, you know who's playing quarterback up there? Exactly. We should be thanking our lucky stars that we have Andrew Luck. That's a real thing. You got a quarterback, you got a team. If you don't, completely fucked.
Yeah, Aaron mentioned him. He said it was a beautiful answer he had to like competition and why he loves football. He said it's the ultimate team sport. And what you could have said, yeah, I agree. It is absolutely a team sport. But if you don't have a quarterback that's a stud, you are not going to win the Super Bowl.
That really good team is going to suck at some point.
You're going to go, yeah, you may be 10-6, and you probably get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs. If the rest of your team is amazing and your quarterback is average to below average.
Let's go to Jordan over there in Ohio. OH!
What's up, Pat and the boys?
Hey, good for you, bub. How you doing, pal?
Not too bad. Just fucking chilling, listening to the show. Happy Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Shout out to Connor.
You did. Whoa.
Hey, shout out to you too.
My question is for AJ.
Go ahead, AJ.
I'm from Miamisburg. Did you enjoy kicking their ass in high school? And those donuts. Did you ever hang out there after football games, and what's your favorite donut?
Hey, let's talk about you beating the shit out of Miamisburg like you did Kirk Herbstreit back in high school, AJ. How was it? Ohio football has big rivalries, I'd assume.
Yeah, Miamisburg, Dayton area. We never played against Miamisburg when I was
Jesus, Jordan, come on.
Our league, so. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun when we got to play against Miamisburg. Growing up, middle school, baseball, football, basketball, I played them in everything.
What about Joe's Donuts?
You got Joe's
Donuts?
Donuts?
Oh, yeah, Bill's Donuts. If you want to get you want to make Herbie laugh or make Herbie in a good mood, mention Bill's Donuts or Marion's Pizza to him on the air, on game day. He loves it. Like
I'm going to say a team's going to get shut out. They're going to put up a big Bill's Donut on the scoreboard. I'll easily work that thing in there. That'll pop her. All I'm doing on that show is trying to pop the
panel.
The panel, yeah, the table.
Yeah, and I think you do a great job of it.
You know, I didn't mind Saturday. I did not mind.
Why don't you just do like every other week?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do. I don't have an ESPN contract. I mean, it's just like, it's a very interesting thing because it's an incredible opportunity to be asked on the show. And I like everybody that's a part of the show. So whenever they ask me to be, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. And then I do it and I enjoy it and then I go home or whatever. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's have college football. I got to watch college football now because I'm a part of a college football show. It's pretty big. So I'll watch football all day Saturday and then obviously we'll watch football all day Sunday. Monday comes around, we only talk NFL. Tuesday comes around, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, I'm like, oh shit. Got a college football show I'm potentially doing this weekend. Got to figure out what the fuck's going on in college football again. Here we go. And then wake up Saturday. So it's one of those things where I feel very grateful to do it. It would be nice to do what you just said or whatever, but if I get asked, it's like, I'm not a big like, nah, can't do it guy. That's not really in my thing, which, by the way, should be added to my repertoire of answers that I say. I just don't normally do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're talking, like when you could talk about all of college football, there's a lot of games you got to consume. There's a lot of stuff you need to know when like really anything is on the table. I know you have little talking points that they can go off of, but if someone asks you a follow-up, like there's a good chance you have no idea what they're talking about.
Bro, good chance. There's 100% chance. And sometimes, like last year, for instance, I was arriving at 1 a.m. or something, midnight in cities. Then you have to be up at 5 a.m. And then they'll be like, hey, you're on at this time is your first time, and then we'll figure it out as we go. I don't even know what I'm doing in those things. So now I just got to hope that my Rolodex of college football information is wide enough for whatever position I'm potentially about to get dropped into. And there was a couple times last year where I just went on and incredible promos about something I knew nothing about. And I felt really proud of me as soon as it ended. It was like back in the day whenever you were asked to read a book. And I used to be able to recite the book basically from beginning to end without ever opening it because I'm listening to what other people were saying. That's what I did for College Game Day all last year. This year, it's been a little bit different. They'll tell me, like, I'll get a heads up, like, hey, you're going to talk about this, you're going to talk about this. I'm like, thank God. Let me go ahead and do a little research here so I'm not a complete idiot. It hasn't helped me, though. I called Georgia Southern, Georgia State, and Georgia State, Georgia Southern, and I had no idea either school even existed, and I got attacked for that. I mean, there's a lot of people watching that show who live and die with college football, and I'm just trying not to, completely offend all of them. And it's only a matter of time, by the way, before I turn full heel, and I just tried to.
Well, that's the hard thing, too, about being like you're an analyst. So all of the people that are diehard fans that are going to get upset on your take one way or the other, they are always going to know way more about that team than you will ever know because that is their life. They are embedded there. They've probably grown up with it. And then you're just jumping in here and there. I can understand where they get a little frustrated.
Let me tell you about Georgia Southern. Team stinks. And then the Georgia Southern fans are like, this. Actually, Herbie said it. Herbie said immediately upon me saying it, he goes, he knows nothing about Georgia Southern. I was like, that's right, actually, Herbie. It's very interesting. I love that show, though. I'm a big fan of the show, so I feel lucky anytime I get asked to go on it. But, boy, Saturday was pretty nice.
I'm sure it was.
I couldn't speak, so I think my wife loved it, too. But it was just, one of those mornings where it wasn't too shabby.
Cool location this Saturday.
Yeah, going down to the Masters.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Pumped.
I'll be right here.
You got to get in on that.
I'm okay, but this is my.
It's a good spot.
I'm not really a Masters guy. I think anybody that knows me knows that that's probably not the spot for me or whatever. I was asked by a couple people that are affiliated with that show once the announcement came out that they were going to Masters if I had ever been down there or anything like that. And as they were getting the question, I was like, stop. No. I've never been fucking invited to the Augusta. Don't you have to get invited down there? Like it's
to play. I mean, it's really tough to get on and actually play, but you could get tickets and go watch the tournament if you wanted.
That's pretty tough too.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's like a Green Bay Packers season ticket holder type
thing. It's a
thing.
raffle every year. You got to put your name in.
I think it's like impossible, damn near impossible.
Okay. Yeah, but you should have gone with Pistol. My dad used to host clients there every year.
Oh, so you've been to Augusta all the time?
No.
Oh, look at AJ. Grew up on Augusta. Are you a member of Augusta?
AJ?
Oh my God!
Good for you,
Rust
dude.
Belt kind of guy.
That's a big fat lie.
Pistol started going when I was like 25, and I never went with them.
Yeah, sure.
But I did go to a practice round because I had I hitched a ride with a wealthy individual from Columbus that took me there for a practice round a couple years ago.
Epstein.
Epstein's guy?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure. By the way, who was the tennis player, you think? It wasn't.
Well, I don't know because I instantly when he said tennis player, I'm like, well, it's not Marty because Marty Fish is awesome and like we love Marty.
And he's really good at golf.
Blake is a tennis player that's played, but James, it wouldn't be him either. He's great. I have no idea, honestly.
By the way, Ryan Phillippe just tweeted that you're a liar, AJ. That never happened. So.
Wow. He really tweeted?
Yeah.
Ryan fucking Phillippe? That's the handsome one from the Steve Carroll one?
No, that's Gosling.
No, yeah.
That's Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Phillippe is a handsome actor, though.
Who's Ryan Phillippe?
Ryan Phillippe used to be married to Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
He was in Cruel Intentions. He's in some new trash show called Big Sky. Gumpy likes.
Real good.
Gumpy just shot his shot at fucking Ryan Phillippe.
It's a knockoff Yellowstone.
Lies. Have never. Would never. Love 12. He's my fantasy football quarterback. All right, shout out Ryan Phillippe. Hey.
Phils.
Hey, Phillips, you ever want to come on and talk about it, pal? Come on in. I mean, I'm a big fan. I fucking watch everything that guy does.
Yeah. Pat, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I believe Phillippe is a big Eagles fan. I ran into him like at an ESPYs party 15 years ago or something, and I think he was a diehard Eagles fan. I don't know. That's how awesome your show is, though, Pat. This is how your platform, the reach that you have. I could throw a random question out to Aaron about Ryan Phillippe. No idea why his name was even in my brain today. And Phillippe can comment and get upset at me saying I'm wrong.
How about Scott Stapp? This happened with Scott Stapp a couple weeks ago.
This is the 2020. The year is weird, but man, what an amazing platform you have built.
Dumbest show of all time. The dumbest show of all time. Ryan Phillippe. He was he around whenever I was a teenager doing anything?
Oh, yeah.
What was he doing whenever I was a teenager?
Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, you remember Cruel Intentions.
That one wasn't a thing for me.
Did you see The Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey?
I feel like his Twitter profile, by the way, that Twitter profile didn't look nothing like a human. Like I don't know who that is.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Okay, I do know that guy.
Don't confuse him with Freddie Prinze.
Yeah, I do know him.
Yeah.
Yo, he's shredded. But you should not be saying things to this guy. He's shredded, dude. He's got like an 8-pack. Why are you telling lies about Ryan Phillippe, dude? He's gonna beat the hell out of you.
I know. I brought him up because of the amount of respect I have for Phillippe. That's the only reason I thought of him.
Oh, guess where he has a house at? Malibu. Ooh. He's got a house in Malibu.
Head on a swivel this year at the ESPYs, AJ.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, and all those other award shows too. Maybe down in Augusta. Watch yourself.
Emmys, Golden Globes.
I don't think they're gonna. Aren't they going to, because of the overwhelming success of the virtual hosting this year from the ESPYs? Aren't they going virtual from now on?
That's actually a good point.
Hashtag Arby's is great. Hashtag ESPYs were great. Okay, that's all we got to say here. From all of us to all of you, Aaron Rodgers, they were incredible.
Yeah,
loved them.
They weren't they?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go
Hawks.
Go Hawks.
You love the ESPYs every year too. Like you actually.
I do. I always look forward to the ESPYs.
They're good.
It's where entertainment meets sport.
That's right.
It's where cinematic type shit meets sport, which is basically your worlds colliding.
It is. I love seeing who the best athlete of the year is. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't make it past the monologue this year. I tuned out.
You're lost, dude. Why?
Well, because it fucking stunk.
No, they had a Yankees player hosting the goddamn thing.
First time ever.
No, you know what? If they would have had A-Rod up there,
it
would have been fucking awesome. The ESPYs stinks.
Go Hawks.
The ESPYs does. I went to one ESPYs, and I was actually working for NFL Network. I got to ask questions on a red carpet in a tiny little square with no air conditioning for 2 hours to guys that I was not interested in. So we got like the F-rate list of people to come through the ESPYs part, you know.
Nice.
And I was sweating. And since I did that for NFL Network, I got tickets to go to the ESPYs. I go into the ESPYs. I'm sitting there, and that was the one where Drake did the whole song about the Donald Sterling. He said Sterling never loved us. If you do recall, it was an entire rap song because it just came out. And then he went off the stage, and commercial hit, and all the lights came on in the thing for the commercial, which is very awkward in the middle of it. And me and my friend Tripp were the only Caucasians sitting within an area of the ESPYs or whatever, because they put me in a seat because I was the representative for the Indianapolis Colts, who were up for an award, by the way. So whenever it came to that, the cameras were shooting on me at the time, and I was like, am I giving a fucking speech? I didn't even know that. So if the Colts would have won, which I guess we wouldn't have, they just did it for. So whenever my friend and I were sitting there after the lights came on, and it was like, you know, Sterling never loved us. The whole racist thing that he did, incredibly racist thing that he did, lights came on. We got a lot of nasty looks. And I just want to let everybody know that I thought Sterling hated me too, like if I had to guess. So my ESPYs experience was one that was very interesting. A long night, sweating my dick off, was thoroughly entertained by some of the songs that Drake put together, but made a promise to myself that I would never go to another award show ever again.
I agree. It sucks. I think I might have gone twice. The first time I went, Timberlake was hosting, which he was great. I was deathly sick, sweating my balls off, sitting in my seat with my wife. I don't know why I went. Just because I was out there, I'm like, I got to go. But hey, you know what though? I met Philippi there. Fast forward 12 years, I mentioned something to Aaron. Philippi, bam, he's in the timeline. Hopefully he comes on the show.
Hey, that's what the ESPYs does. It brings people together.
Wow.
People forget.
Peace.
We're in this thing together, aren't we?
Unity.
It was tough, though, man.
Yeah, it stunk. I mean, you don't have to make
No, I'm not talking about what you're saying. I thought watching it, I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Being in the crowd at an award show is maybe one of the least fun experiences of all time. I don't know how people do it all the time. Obviously, your knees are crammed, okay? You can't move. It's a theater. You're dressed up like a stooge to sit that close to people. You're hot. You're sweaty. And normally, you're not going to win. So it's like, what am I doing here? I'm dancing out here for you guys. And it's, unless the entertainment is A1, like Timberlake was, Drake was I couldn't even imagine if it was a bad host, what it would have been like.
Peyton was good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tough. It's tough out there.
Yeah, I'd say it's really I mean, you'll go back. I'm sure you'll go back.
If I ever get asked to host one of those things, that's my entire monologue, by the way. How miserable everybody is in here. You were forced to be here. Awesome. Thanks for coming. You're 6'6". You got about, 4'4" worth of space there. It's like you're on an airplane for the next 3 hours. Buckle up, pal. Can't wait to start that. Hey, look at you over there, already blacked out drunk. That'll be fun. See how that kind of unfolds for the rest of the night. Ricky Gervais, greatest host of all time. I wish he was hosting the ESPYs whenever I went to the ESPYs, Ricky Gervais.
He or Norm Macdonald is still the greatest host that the ESPYs has ever had.
I don't remember that one.
I've seen his monologue from YouTube. He goes after multiple players right away, like right when he walks on stage. It's good. You'll see it sometime.
That's what you got to do. I tried to put my name in for the NFL Honors Show to host that. It was declined quickly.
Who usually hosts?
Big name. That's what I was told. Need a big name. Like, all right, one day I'll work for this one. And when I come out on stage, know that it's about to be electric. It is coming down with me out there.
Hell yeah.
Imagine me walking out there though with Aaron sitting in the front row, like JJ sitting there, TJ sitting there, like basically everybody. The reaction by everybody in the crowd as soon as I walk out there is going to be, oh, fuck, here we go. Boom! Remember whenever you said bang? How this was supposed to be the year that you were supposed to, and then you ran into boom! And then bingo! Bango! How about you, Goodell? Look at you up there. Pow! Boom, bang, boom, pow! Your first presenter is Ryan Philippi. That's interesting. I was a finalist for an award, and I couldn't even get into the door. They wouldn't even let me in. I think a Carrot Top was there that year.
What award?
Salute to Service Award. I came in third, I guess, but I was a finalist. And I was like, cool, am I able to get in? And they're like, no, sorry. Third place does not get a...
I'll send you a DVD.
Carrot Top the host?
No, I think he was in the crowd. I was talking about, because I couldn't even get a ticket to the damn thing. I was I think I had already made a Pro Bowl at that point. Finalist for one of their fucking awards. Couldn't get a ticket. Was told basically can't get in. And so all I did the entire night was just scan the crowd and say, that motherfucker got a ticket over me. That person got a ticket over me. These sons of bitches. Is that Carrot Top out there? How did Carrot Top get into the goddamn NFL honors? And I wasn't even allowed to work the lobby. It was very interesting. You know what I mean?
But you're over it now, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
You calling a game this weekend?
Hopefully it happens. North Texas, UAB, but North Texas got their last game canceled. So we'll see.
LSU.
A lot of points in that game.
They just don't know. You know, it takes all of us.
LSU, yeah, I know we're wrapping up the show, but LSU's still playing football down there, huh? Why? They really fly under the radar when they're not winning.
Yeah, they
like that shot.
It seems like Death Valley.
I'm not taking a shot at them by any means. I love Coach O. I think their expectations, maybe Coach O's just bringing expectations back down to a reasonable level.
Ooh. Coach O might have lost focus on football a little bit.
What? Why is that?
Oh, single coach.
Just that's what I think. Just watching the games, just doesn't seem like he's as focused as before.
Coach O. You before
football.
You thought Coach O. Whenever you watch, you're like that guy's super focused.
Right into the game when they won it last year.
Okay. I think game day is like Coach's like hangout day. I think Coach O does a lot, behind the scenes. Game day is like, hey, let's enjoy this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely does a lot.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
All right, we're out of here. It does seem like LSU is potentially dead. Maybe they'll come back in the next couple of years. Who knows? Hey, it's tough in the SEC, pal. Okay? They're all Indiana University down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay?
What was that?
I thought you were saying something else.
And then
I realized what you were saying. Yeah. They all are IU. They're unbelievable football teams.
Yeah, they're all good football teams down there. So if you're not winning, you're done for.
What did he think you were going to say?
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were saying, schools like LSU or IU, but you obviously were talking about how IU is unbelievable now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You thought I was potentially going to say they're all Ohio State down there.
Exactly.
They're all IU is now in that conversation. We just talked to Tom Allen a couple hours ago. Legends. He is in that conversation now as legendary college football program. Tom Allen in the IU. Hoosiers.
Yeah, Tom Allen can make any football team top 10.
Is Ohio... I think that's accurate. Is Ohio State nervous about Indiana potentially getting hot and coming in there and just beating the doors off them?
I'm sure they are. Yeah, man. They take every opponent seriously.
All right.
I think your quarterback has more touchdowns than incompletions on the year. Something like that.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Michael Penix, baby.
You're damn right he does.
However you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's damn.
Talking Justin Fields.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mike Penix Jr.
Yeah, we're talking about MPJ.
MPJ. Battle of the Titans, isn't it?
Yeah. What I want to tell you about Ohio State is, Justin Fields might be like unbelievable and look like maybe a better NFL prospect than people have seen in a long, long time. And he lost some weight, obviously, because he's plant powered and everything like that. But hey, any given Saturday, pal. Oh, yeah. Any given Saturday, those IU Hoosiers can get loose out there.
That's right. Or you could get COVID on any given Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Or Friday.
Or Friday.
Or Thursday. Wednesday. I think they take off Tuesdays. Monday. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. COVID doesn't join anybody.
No.
Definitely on Sunday. Yeah, that's the type of thing. And,
Didn't we see AJ earlier on TV?
Oh, AJ, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
LeGarrette Blount, did you see that? LeGarrette Blount was doing an interview this morning, and they ran a highlight from his Tampa days against Green Bay Packers.
Did he run me over?
You went, so he was like kind of wrapped up by two people, and you came in for a cleanup shot, and you hit him, and he just kind of bounced off you. And then
Whoa.
I've seen that clip, yeah.
You sneeze?
I always sneeze at 3:22 at 50 seconds. It just always happens.
Oh, it's just natural instinct to
Yeah,
sneeze all over the place.
I sneezed
No,
at
you
my
didn't.
elbow.
It's on my arm.
Anyway,
I Batman.
That's not good. You guys are 6 feet away from each other, too. That needs to be.
I Batmaned.
Okay. Oh, you dabbed?
Yeah, no. Oh, Batman.
Yeah, you dabbed.
Batman. AJ, come on, dude.
Wow.
What does Batman do?
Up, dude? Are you putting
Is that
cape up,
Batman?
dude?
I know what dab, but I didn't know if that's a Batman thing.
Yeah, because
Batman.
I'm not wearing hockey hats, but this guy is. And he does this thing, and then he walks away. This show's over. This show's See you later, AJ.
See you guys.